Welcome to Let's Talk Jets Radio.
Mr. Primetime.
How you doing, man?
Doing all right, dude. You know what happened?
What's up?
I rushed home from the gym. I'm home 20 minutes early. I'm like, perfect. I set up the computer. I set up a special guest. Let him
His head in.
there he is, right?
What could go wrong?
Yeah, I do all these things. 4 minutes before the show starts, a complete reboot. My system gets updated. My flash drive gets updated. This gets updated. That gets updated. I'm just like, what?
Terrible.
Like, this is ridiculous. So, of all times, like, dude, I was literally sitting here for 20 minutes hanging out. I'm like, how this is like, I'm more time than usual. So I'm like, this is gonna be perfect. So, but what's up, everybody? A interesting Tuesday. A lot going on with the New York Jets. A couple injury updates, which were unfortunate. But we apologize for the delay. And I guess before we get started, prime time, I just want to thank everybody. Over the last couple of days, we got a lot of feedback on our videos, but a lot of like positive commentary all over social media, and we appreciate the support. And the one thing about our show is what you see now is what we always do. Like, we don't chase clicks, we don't chase subscribers, we don't chase anything. We're just fans that are longtime fans that are passionate about our team and just talk football. Like, we're not experts, we're not analysts, and we have fun with it. So.
No, I love seeing all those messages come in. It's very humbling, and especially when we're at the games, people coming up to us saying they watch our stuff. It's crazy. There's plenty of content out there, plenty of actual football analysts that have played the game and that have actually studied the game. So for you guys to tune into us, it means a lot.
Yeah, no, we definitely appreciate it, especially the last couple of days when we went after SNY and Salicata and everybody else. So we appreciate all the
scorched
support.
earth the last few days.
Yeah, this is it. Like, this is the way we are, though. It's year round. And it's like, again, and if you want to have a friendly debate in our comments, I have no problem doing that. I went at it for a good few minutes today with somebody, but it's fun. That's just, that's the way this works.
I still have to get to a few of my comments.
Oh.
My people know that it usually takes, 24 to 48 hours.
No, mine expect instant reactions, dude. So they're just, so we appreciate all the support. I will, thank you guys. Seriously. One little update. Steve will not be coming on today. He actually messaged me earlier. He can't make it. What? He's not feeling well.
I'm not feeling well. I'm here.
Bro, I'm like, listen, man, Steve, this is just, Steve, you can make all the excuses you want. When you want your hot takes, you're lighting up our direct messages. Put me on. Now he vanishes.
2 shotguns next week.
Yep. So no, Steve, I don't think we've ever asked for a subscriber or like in the history of this show. I don't think we've ever have.
I've never once asked for a subscriber, a like, a follow on anything. I just feel like, if your content is authentic, people will eventually see that and they'll follow you.
I think if anything, we've told people to screw off and don't subscribe and don't watch us.
Especially you. You're fucking blunt as hell with that.
I don't care. Like, that's the best thing is, and we'll go to callers next, but the best thing is there's one guy, he's like, I can't stand when you say this and I don't like when you say this. I'm like, lucky for you, dude, you're not forced to watch this. Don't watch it.
See, people like that, I still try at least to turn into fans. Like, I recognize that passion. Like, we all want the same thing for this team. We just kind of look at it different ways. So,
nope, not me, dude. Yeah, if you're like, you complain about how much you hate me, then why watch? I'm like, please do me a favor. There are so many great other shows out there. Find yourself over there. Don't watch my shit.
I mean, how many times do we do that though? Like when it comes to like the media and Costello, obviously you wrote the good one the other day, but like, a lot of these guys, they do the clickbait stuff, yet we still talk about it. So
yeah. So we'll go to callers because tonight is all about the callers. I get calls from Let's Talk Jets PR after every stream. Oh, I can imagine, man. If we had like a public relations department, they'd be like, you guys are a nightmare.
Could you imagine? Oh.
You guys, you follow no rules. See, Kevin, you're his inspiration.
Oh, thank you, man. That person would quit after like 2 weeks. That's what doing PR.
All those 4 a.m. workouts have caught up with Steve. That's right. My kangaroo's talking some trash now. I appreciate that. Let's see. What's up, guys? Saw an article over here in Buffalo about Bart Scott Clone going after Zach, calling him selfish. John, if you want to know, watch the last half hour of our show yesterday. We completely went over all the SNY nonsense and how it seemed personal attacks on Zach and everything else. Our whole show. And actually, I think Primetime did a video on it. I did a video on it. just check out the couple of videos before this, man. We got it covered for sure.
It's still strange how like Legay's trying to like backtrack and say, oh, well, that was only like the 2-minute segment. The rest of the show, I was still praising him, and he's going on social media now, giving him all this praise. I'm like, you still bash the kid and his character for no legitimate reason. Like,
Personal attacks.
They were personal shots for no reason at all. So,
and the one thing I hate, and some people do this, is like, well, you never played before, you don't understand, or oh, you're
he did that too. Yeah, he did that too. Yeah,
bad
luck,
that
dude.
one.
Yeah.
Don't ever put yourself where you're like so invincible and touchable that the fans are so far below you, because you're gonna lose all your followers and be like, dude, you're nuts. I like him. Like the sad things, I like these guys, but this approach they've taken, especially on social media, it's like, dude, that's just not gonna work, man. It's definitely not gonna work. So what's up, Portland? You guys are all 57-year-old transplant in Massachusetts.
Wow,
we appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.
We got our good friend Greg in Massachusetts too. He's always in there, so that's always fun. So what's we got here?
I see some new names in the chat too.
Yeah, it's crazy. The last couple of days, man. I saw this as well. The New Orleans Saints are releasing Josh Adams. You figure with all the Jets are kind of banged up with all the COVID and everything else, maybe they consider bringing him back. But I mean, you got Austin Walter. You have Michael Carter's. If he doesn't play, I mean, I don't know.
Why not give P. Ryan a shot? Final game. I mean, the Jets were able to start Bryce Petty for a game. I mean, we can't give P. Ryan a couple carries. I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world.
No, I mean, dude, if he doesn't play this weekend, I mean, so I guess the news of the day is George Fant's now out, obviously on Sunday. Yeah. Bryce Huff is out again. That guy is having some issues staying healthy as well.
Yeah, he gets hurt a lot.
Yep. Yeah, so when you go into the game against Buffalo, you're probably starting two new guys in the offensive line, which is rough. So that's we'll see. So we're going to go to this now. Our first caller, prime time. His last two calls have been fantastic. So can he keep up the high standard? I'm guaranteed. I want to place a bet too. Today's what? January 4th. By February 1st, he has his own YouTube channel. Yeah, absolutely, guaranteed. There's no doubt about it. If he doesn't already have one already, and he's gonna drop it on us. But by the way, guys, I just started my own channel. It's coming though.
The young
Bubs,
ones,
what's up, man?
The young ones, I like that.
Hello.
What's up, Bubs?
Thanks for having me on again.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys?
You sound very serious, man. You okay? You look uptight. You tense?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good.
He's still pissed about the 4th and 2.
That is kind of true. I just wanted to start off with this. The media, like you guys were talking about on Zach Wilson, I'm going to probably repeat a lot of what you said, but it is completely ridiculous and out of line. Like the personal attacks, the calling him arrogant, selfish, and saying all these things about not being a team player, chicken legs, not strong enough, he's small. It's just completely ridiculous. Like, it's out of line. It just doesn't make sense. Like there's no reason to be bashing him. It's not even like he's playing bad. He's shown a whole lot of progress. He's been playing really good. He's been playing much better. He played really well against one of the better defenses in all the league. And I'm just, really sick and tired of hearing week in and week out all these, bad takes about him and stuff. And it's not even about like the games and stuff. It's just personal attacks that are just completely unnecessary. And we never saw
especially
it with
after his best game. It was easily his best game as a pro.
Yeah, and like we never saw this with Darnold. I mean, if I can recall, I never remember this stuff, with Darnold and stuff like that, where they were taking personal attacks on him. I never really remember any of that stuff. I only remember it now. It's just completely out of line and completely ridiculous, especially coming from Bart Scott, a former player. Like grow up. Like, come on. Like, it's just ridiculous. I can't stand it. It's really annoying. Give him some credit where credit's due. He's shown progress. He stepped up against a really good team, missing a lot of weapons. Michael Carter leaving the game early, with the concussion after the big 55-yard run he had. Like, just give him some credit where credit's due. And that's where I want to get into my next point here. Like, he showed a ton of progress this weekend, against the Bucs. And the 4th down and 2 play, it took me a good day and a half to get over. Right after the game, I was fuming about it. I didn't understand it. It was in the heat of the moment. I was just like, this organization doesn't know what they're doing. Like, they don't know how to win. We've seen this a ton of times. Like, you're this close to beating Brady and you quarterback sneaking on 4th down and 2. It's just like, in the heat of the moment, I was frustrated. But when you really look at the big picture of this game, like, we saw a lot of good, and the good really outweighs the bad. Wilson playing really well against this isn't no Jaguars defense. This is one of the elite defenses in the NFL that is going to compete for a Super Bowl, led by a really solid defense coordinator in Todd Bowles. And it's just like really like for him to step up, like I mentioned, without the weapons and play like he did was great to see. And he's shown a lot of progress. A couple of throws he made to Yeboah. I really like the throw he made to Keelan Cole, a throw that earlier in the season probably would have picked off. He took a little off of it, added some air under it, got it to Keelan Cole. It was like down at the 2-yard line. I think that was the possession where he threw the touchdown to Barrios. It's just great to see. It really is. It's so like, as a Jet fan, it's so refreshing because from what we saw earlier in the season, it was,
like this is a monologue. I kind of like walk away
I'm
and just
enjoying
come
it,
back
though.
when you're done.
Yeah. It's just like,
it's not really a conversation. It's kind of like you're just preaching to us.
He's preaching, though. He's spitting facts. I like it.
It was just, like concerning at times. And for him to now be playing like he is great. And Barrios, I know a lot of the fan base is on board. I totally agree with everybody about it. I think Barrios definitely needs to, be extended or at least, looked into at Joe Douglas. Definitely that should be one of his priorities this offseason.
At what contract terms? What are you offering him?
I mean, I really haven't looked at all that stuff at the moment. I'd probably look more into that in the offseason at what we're looking at. But
right now, you're Bub's the general manager, and Braxton Barrios is now a superstar of the New York Jets, the fan favorite. Everybody loves him. And he comes into your office, Bubs, and says, yo, dude, I want 3 years, $21 million, and I'll stay with the Jets. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely look in the range of 2 to 3 years. Because if you look at,
but what's the year? What's the amount per year you're offering them though?
Probably, I would say 2-3 years, like you said, 15 to 20 million.
I don't know if
somewhere around there.
A lot of it's going to depend on the guarantee.
So what if he says to you, "Listen, I appreciate your offer, but you're lowballing me, and I know my value is higher than that. I want 3 years, $24 million."
I mean, right now I would give it to him because he's been that key of a piece of the team.
That was easy.
But it also depends, though, what we do. I mean,
it
also depends on what we do in free agency. If we bring in, a big-time number one receiver, he might not be as much of a threat, which I don't really think we –
not to cut you off, at the right price, though, why let it get to free agency? I mean, if you can get him now at a value
now in your building
is fair, as somebody that can contribute on special teams and possibly play the slot if you're going to lose Crowder, I think it can make sense for the right price right now.
That's what happened a couple years ago. We lost Andre Roberts, who was a really key piece. I would make the argument that Barrios is better than Roberts because I think Barrios is a better receiver than Andre Roberts was.
He's younger.
Andre Roberts was good with kick returning, but not nearly as much of a threat.
And he was like 32, I think, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He has not been the same player. He got picked up by the Bills and then just got lost.
He just had a return touchdown the other day, didn't he?
He did? I didn't even realize that.
I think this Sunday he had a return touchdown.
So Bubs, now, are you willing to let him test free agency and try to pursue other free agents first before you sign him?
No, I want him back on the team.
All right. So when do you so I'm saying, are you going to say, listen, we're going to get a deal done, find a way to get it done? If his so you're willing to do, say, 3 years, $24 million, done deal tomorrow?
Yeah, I'd say give him a deal now, get him locked up, and then make your whatever else you feel the need to build around Wilson with free agency, which I definitely think a tight end's a need. You obviously already have Moore and Carter and Wilson. You just continue to build on that.
Yeah, Corey
Barrios
Davis
would be, Davis. Coming off, would be coming off an injury. Davis.
So my other question for you though is, and you're talking about putting things around instead of you're talking about investing money around Wilson, which I completely agree with. But if you have Corey Davis, you're going to give, say, just in theory, you give Barrios $8 million a year. You have Elijah Moore. Would you try to spend more money on another receiver, or do you say, you know what? Let's attack the tight end position, which is completely barren right now, which you may get more bang for your buck there. How would you approach that?
I definitely feel tight ends definitely need. Like Dalton Schultz, Mike Gesicki, somebody like that would be a perfect pickup for us to bring him in as a reliable asset for Wilson in the passing game. You even go into the draft too. Maybe receiver could be an option in the draft.
Yep.
You still have to see how everything plays out. What did the Jets do? do in the draft and stuff, like trade back, whatever. Where all their picks.
Well, the free agency happens first, though. That's where you got to figure out.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you have a lot of draft resource and you have a lot of salary cap space, but you can only allocate so much money to each position. So you figure Corey Davis is making pretty good money. If you give Barrios good money, Elijah Moore's, obviously making decent money. If you go out and say, I want to go, well, Michael Gallup unfortunately got hurt, but if you go try to find another big guy, you're spending a lot of money at wide receiver where they have a lot of other holes too. So for me, to me, tight end is an enormous priority, man.
Yeah,
enormous.
Tight end, I think
it's got to be upgraded significantly.
Definitely. Tight end is definitely a massive need. Yeah. And then if we look to fill I think tight end is definitely a massive need in free agency. And depending on how things play out, you got to look more receiver in the draft.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Possibly Jameson Williams out of Alabama could be an option. There's plenty of options. We'll see how everything, goes with the whole picks and stuff once this week's done. I don't think,
But what do you do with your boy Mims?
I think I was believer on Mims last season, but he's not getting snaps. I think his time's up. We're not using him. Like, he's just filling a roster spot at this point. Montgomery got more snaps than him.
Jeff Smith.
He didn't even get a snap on Sunday.
Time's up. What is the least amount of draft compensation you would take for Mims right now on January 4th?
Like, to trade him and get a pick back?
Yep.
I don't even know what a team. I think he has upside. Big receiver, strong. He showed he showed positive last season. I don't know if many teams would. I don't think many teams, because of what he's done this season, he's barely played. Teams probably aren't going to.
What about a fifth rounder? If I offered you a fifth rounder, would you take it?
I think I personally would want more, but I think the Jets would probably pull the trigger on that because you're not going to get it for him. You're not going to get him for much more because he's only played a couple snaps. Not a couple, but he's played very minimal snaps this season.
So what do you think? Week. Can you press and say, no, I want a fourth rounder for him? I don't think anything higher than. I think a fourth's even stretching at this point. But what do you think?
Fourth time stretching it because didn't we get like a third and fourth for Darnold?
Well, they got a fourth for Chris Herndon.
That's what I was leaning towards. Sure. Chris Herndon didn't do jack shit either.
Yeah,
I think the best bet if you want to maximize his value is just hope he puts in a good offseason, bring him back to training camp, hope he has a couple good preseason games, and then you could unload him after that, or actually let him go into the season and have some depth at receiver if he's playing well.
Yeah, and possibly, this is thinking way in advance, but possibly if he's having a solid season, as a depth addition, you could maybe deal him at the deadline, but it all depends.
Bubs, good talking to you, man. That's an excellent call today. You start us off the right way.
3 in a row.
Thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate you having me on.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
I felt like he was lecturing me at one point there. I was like, wow, this is going to be like a 4-minute monologue. Like, he could do our intros for us.
He was just going, man.
He was. So what's up, everybody? You guys want Gesicki, you'll have to pay him wide receiver money. That's why Miami might move on from him. That's the one thing, and obviously these are all off-season topics, like the tight ends. I know, like the Dalton Schultz. I think these guys may get drastically overpaid just because there's not a lot of them out there, and everybody needs tight ends at this point. So it's be interesting to see what kind of market they have for these guys.
I thought the tight end market was pretty stacked this year. If on my phone, like OJ Howard's out there, like you just said, with Schultz and a few other guys.
I think some of these guys are going to be drastically overpaid. Hey, look who's here! Our competition's here, prime time. Look at this, our competition.
Oh, Panda, welcome back.
So we got here. A lot of, I guess the Barrios thing it's a hot topic, man, because they got some people discounting him. So you got Sneakers of Boots saying get OJ Howard on a 1-year deal and draft a tight end with the late second or third. I like OJ Howard.
Completely on board with that.
Yep, me too.
Unrestricted free agents, tight ends. You got Zach Ertz, Jimmy Graham, Gronk, Ebron, Jared Cook, Mo Alley Cox, Robert Tonyan. I like Robert Tonyan. Hayden Hurst, Evan Ingram, no. Njoku, wouldn't mind that.
I like him.
Yeah, there's a few guys like Njoku, OJ Howard that are good receiving threats that you could bring in and just draft somebody.
You want like super athletic guys, like big athletic yards after the catch. That's good in like the red zone. All right, so we got here. We got a cast of characters on the thing here tonight. So prime time, I'll let you choose our next caller. How about that?
Don't make me do that.
Come on, man. We got a fantasy football champion. We got controversial callers. We got calm callers.
Let's go with KD.
KD.
Feeling good about KD today.
All right. KD's been good.
What's going on, y'all?
Good, man. How you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
Happy New Year, all that, Happy birthday. I missed that.
You too, man. Happy New Year.
Primetime's birthday's coming up, man.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Yep.
Friday.
Look for your birthday, my boy.
I was planning on maybe going out, but I've been feeling like shit. I came home today. Had like cold sweats and shit, so I'm like, fuck.
Oh yeah, the whole Omicron thing too. But yo, let me get right into it, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the best game, offense and defense, that we played all season. But I don't even want to go into like the game, bro. I'm just mad that our head coach threw the offense under the bus to me. Like, I didn't like that at all. I didn't like him coming out and saying, "Oh,
After the game, you mean?"
Yeah, right. And honestly, bro, that was probably one of the toughest losses all season, just because of who it was. Just because of who it was.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else, it wouldn't have been that tough. But because it was Brady, because he did it so many times, like that shit hurt, bro. Especially there in the stadium, bro. Oh my fucking God.
But did you see? And we were both critical of Saleh after the game too. But his press conference on Monday, he made up for a lot of it, dude. He was very well thought out with all his answers. He covered kind of his bases, and he kind of cleaned up some mess he created on Sunday.
Even on Sunday, though, I mean, he eventually did say it still starts with the coaching staff. It's on us to be better. You know, he did kind of single out Wilson for, you know, just deciding to sneak it up front. And then I think he said LaFleur was supposed to be the one to tell him that the ball had to go to Barrios. You know, but I think he did say that, you know, from a coaching perspective, it's on us to make sure that he knows what to do in that situation.
First off, you called the timeout before this happened.
That's what's wrong.
Call timeout. How the fuck does he not know what to do, bro? It's an option play, right? It's an option play. The whole thing all season was he doesn't have the best understanding of the offense, all this. Why are we giving him an option on the biggest play of the fucking game? I don't get that, bro.
I think they assumed too much that he would automatically think that at 4th and 2, the quarterback sneak would be off the table because that was a play that they run on 4th and 1 or 4th and less.
I mean, yeah, like his eyes got big, bro. He wanted to win a game. He was playing Brady. Like, I don't know why you would do that. But to say that he's selfish for wanting his team to win, I don't fucking get, bro. Like, and that's why I say I blame Saleh, because if you don't put that in there, if you just say something like some generic shit that he's been saying all season, like we fully stand behind Zach Wilson for making that call, nobody's talking about he's selfish or whatever, bro. Like, I didn't like that. He threw mind you, his defense got bitched.
That's the thing that we focus so much on the 4th and 2, man. We talk about it, but I'm like, after that disaster of a play, your defense still gave up a 93-yard drive and they had no timeouts.
93 yards. Tom Brady
just make some plays, dude. And it's like
no spikes. He walks up the field, no running,
no Antonio Brown. Like, and they blitzed no one, dude. They just did the soft coverage, all this. They had 4-man rush pretty much the entire drive and did nothing. And there's that drive, and they had the 3rd and 20 drive before that. The 3rd and 20 play they converted.
Thank you. Exactly.
That's defense.
Right. 4th and goal. I don't understand. Like, so Gronkowski, he's not the fastest dude, but he's impossible to bring down. You can't let him catch the ball and then try and tackle him. Like, you have to deny the ball from Gronk. Like, I don't get that, bro. We had safeties in position. Who's 33? Is that
Elijah Riley?
Elijah Riley.
Right. So many fucking dudes wore that jersey number this year, bro. Oh my God. Oh,
it is, dude. They've had so many players, man. The one time,
they've had so many safeties. It's crazy.
Right.
The Jaguars game with prime time. I was trying to like, who the hell is number 1? Who the hell is this guy? Like, I don't know who the players even were anymore.
And then so before he takes the angle was so bad on that touchdown. The angle, that was the main problem. If he goes for the tackle, we maybe have a chance or whatever, bro. But if you can't go that angle, he did that before early in the game. Went up one-handed or some shit. He could have caught the pick. So,
but you're making a good point, and this is one thing that nobody's really touched on, where it's like they focused on Zach Wilson saying, you know what, here's things that you got to do. Like, he should definitely hand it off. For the defense, you had the same communication to them. Don't get beat deep. Don't give up this guy. Don't hand off this. Like, keep the plays in front of you. Like, that's the same kind of communication the coaching staff has to have with defensive players. But nobody focuses on that. Like, oh, it's a blown coverage. No, hold everybody accountable. And it's weird, man. It's weird how they're letting the defense just pass on all this.
I think crazy. Honestly, he has the most haters. Like, I don't know, like all the rookie quarterbacks, he gets the most hate out of all.
Absolutely, it's not even close. It's not even. You know what it is? It's because of all the guys, he has a little bit of swag to him, which is a reason why I thought it was a good fit with New York, because we needed that. You need a feisty, fiery guy with here, a guy that has, because it's just. The fan base will love it, but you need it in this media market with just you have to have that fire inside of you. But like, and you made a good point, dude. I thought the commentary on Zach Wilson after the game, after one of his best games as a pro, was personal. It wasn't personal,
fair, bro. He was throwing all over the fucking field. Like he was throwing darts. It was some shits like tight window spirals. Like he was hitting the target, bro.
Shit we've never seen before.
I didn't think that was fair. Me personally, 4th and 2, I'm calling a better play. We were killing them with the short passes all game. Maybe if you want to target Barrios, do that. Barrios is another thing too. I mean, I'm sorry to him. Early in the season, I was mad that he's fucking playing. Like,
me too.
I thought we was gonna be a better team if we never have Barrios on the field. But
so what are you paying him, man? KD, you're now the general manager. What's the contract you're offering Barrios to keep him here?
I mean, so you said 3 years, 21 mil? That's decent, bro. That's decent.
You paying that?
Roberts wanted 4.3 to stay here. They ain't give it to him, and he was just returns. He does returns. He's a fucking gadget. Might as well, bro. Give him the money, bro.
I think he's gonna want to hit the market.
For what? I mean,
he loves it here.
Yeah.
You don't think Belichick would want him back?
Belichick is not gonna use him like how we do. Honestly,
Him and Zach are boys, dude.
I think that was
he's one of us now.
I hope so.
And then like Tampa,
money talks, man. We've seen it before. Money talks.
That's true, especially with this team.
Definitely want him back though, for sure. He's nice, for real, for real.
Katie, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for being here, man.
Great call,
man.
Yes, sir.
Have a good night. He's good, man. 2 back-to-back good calls. So prime times that you picked them, you did a good one. We'll go through the chat real quick here because here's a good comment. Prime time. It's not great being me right now, courtesy of our friend Sam Darnold. No, it's not, my friend.
Not. If I can just give one last final Sam Darnold excuse. I was looking at it last night. I was just
another
curious.
Excuse for him.
Yes.
Is that possible? You've created another one?
Yes. Just what? Because I was curious last night, so I actually looked it up. Do you know what the record of Sam Darnold's backups are throughout his entire career? 1 in 15.
So he's
so I know he's been shit, but I'm saying like everything around him has still been pretty bad as far as like the offensive coordinators, the teams, everything like that. So he's been shit this year. I'm not even going to defend his play
he's
this
been
year.
terrible, dude. He's been his ship. He's going down the Baker Mayfield path now. Both those guys, and Baker Mayfield's getting run out of Cleveland now.
That'd be a nice little quarterback competition next year.
For who?
I'd pay to see that.
Carolina?
Anywhere.
I'd like to see Baker Mayfield go to the Giants. Just
trade Sam to Cleveland, or bring Baker to Carolina.
Jose will be coming on shortly. We take requests. We'll definitely get him on. So if he's a real problem, that's what she said. We got comedians in the comments. Let's go. So
well played.
This conversation is going to be probably the hot topic for once this season's over. It's going to be how much do you want to pay Barrios and how much does he want? That's going to be fascinating, man. Absolutely fascinating to see what they do.
Here's a question for you.
Yep.
Would you extend George Fant right now? He's only got 1 year left on his deal. Assuming that there's nothing going on with the knee, would you consider extending him like another 2-3 years?
Probably not. I let him play out next year and see what happens. How old is he?
He's only like 30, I think, 29, 30. I don't think he's that old.
Are you bringing Morgan Moses back too?
Right price. Also depends on the draft. I mean, when did they sign him this year? It was like July, right, or August almost,
late,
right? Yeah, it was late in free agency. So that might happen again this year. Yeah.
Well, he was cut late too, wasn't he? Though.
Was he?
Yeah, he was cut late. It was like a surprise cut, and Jets swooped in and got him. So yeah, this is a wild number. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are both making $18.8 million next year because they picked up the option.
Yeah,
wild, man. Like, it's so funny. We'll go to calls in a second, but it's so funny watching the Browns because the Browns had the great year last year, and they came in this year like the team, like gonna make a big legit run into the playoffs. The dog pound all bought in. They're all this. And then you watch them, and they slowly, between injuries and all this stuff, and then Mayfield just all banged up, playing like this, and now they hate the guy. He's like public enemy number 1 in Cleveland. It's unbelievable, dude, how in 1 year, how fast it changes.
And I think he probably wants out of there, too.
I bet he does, dude.
I know his girlfriend's like posted some stuff on Instagram about like the fans in Cleveland, so.
They hate him, dude. They absolutely hate him. And you know what the worst thing is, too? When you're a public persona like that, and you're losing, and you see commercial after commercial with his face on it, as a fan, you probably want to break the TV. Like, I'm tired of seeing your face. Like, you're not winning football games. Get off my TV. It's like the Jets when they're losing bad games, getting blown out, and the season ticket commercial comes up. You want to break the TV. So
those State Farm commercials are pretty good, though. Yeah,
they are. But it's just, you imagine being a Browns fan. Imagine that was us, dude, and you're watching Baker just fall apart, and you're seeing all these commercials. Yeah. I'd be out of my mind. Pick a caller, prime time.
Me?
It's all you.
Damn. Who we got? Let's see. Let's go with Trav. Trav
it is.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
I'm great. I hope you guys enjoyed your New Year's. I got to be completely honest. This game was demoralizing, the way it ended. I'll start with the positive and give people their flowers that deserve it.
Flowers? We're giving out
Yeah,
flowers
give
today?
them their flowers. Yeah. Mike
Kudos.
LaFleur has been a revelation since he's moved up to the booth. Consistently, what I've seen from the play calling has been phenomenal. From the motion to utilizing Barrios similarly to how they use Deebo Samuel and San Fran, to where you have to worry about him motioning in the backfield on sweeps, which is just another thing for the defense to have to worry about. Top to bottom, he's called great games from what I've seen. Zach obviously looked really, really sharp. I really was impressed with just the fact that he was taking what was given and wasn't really pressing, especially in such a big game, hyped up. Everyone's talking about Brady, every presser that he's at, not talking about anything but Brady. I felt like he really showed up. Barrios, obviously, I just want to say we definitely need to re-sign him, only because when you look at what he brings from an aspect of not just special teams, but also, again, the ability to run the sweep, the ability to play out of the slot. He's multidimensional. And when Elijah Moore comes back, when you can run either of them on a sweep and then have that kind of speed in the slot or on the outside, it just gives another dimension for, again, the defense to worry about.
How much are you paying him?
I'd give him $5 to $7 million a year, 2-3 years.
5 ain't cutting it.
5's definitely not getting it done.
I'd give him 7 then
think.
if 7. I don't know if I'd go up to 8, 7.5. But, I think we need to pay him only because, again, he can do so many different things and he just plays with a lot of heart. And at the end of the day, we don't have a lot of guys that show up with that kind of fire weekly. And I just like to see it, especially when it's coming from the smallest guy on the field. It just rallies everybody else around. Like, yo, look at this.
I thought Zach Wilson
5'6",
was the smallest
5'7"
guy in the field, according to Willie Colon.
Yeah, right. Now to the negative, which there are a lot to point out, which you guys have kind of already touched on. How many 3rd and 20s have we given up this year? 4 or 5?
Yep.
I mean, at what point when we get into 3rd and 20, which is an advantageous defensive position, do we get a stop? We literally give up every 3rd and 20 that I've ever seen.
Well,
no one's giving up more than us.
Dude, Primetime made a good point on Sunday. The Jets defense is dangerous on like 3rd and 6 or less. They play very well. When it gets longer than 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, for whatever reason, they always blow it. They always blow it. I don't know what it's like. If they get soft on their coverage, they give up. But it's seriously, dude. It's like the 3rd and short, or like they seem like they're very competitive. Anything longer than that, they have problems.
I think part of it's like they back up behind the first down marker, and we obviously have not been a good tackling team all year. We're always taking bad angles, so like you're giving up the easy catch, and it's somewhat close to the marker, and most of the time we don't make the tackle, and the guy usually gets it.
It's just embarrassing to see it happen almost, it seems like, week after week, because, again, that's like the 4th or 5th one. Yep. I will say credit to the DBs for holding up, because you stated it, Tyson, already. When we send 4, we get no pressure. None. Guys have all day to throw when we send 4. They're not sniffing the quarterback, let alone collapsing the pocket to make him feel like there's a chance someone can make a play. So those guys are having to hold up way longer than they should have to. And what do we do to add a wrinkle or add an adjustment to be able to make up for the fact we can't send 4? Absolutely nothing. Yep. We don't get exotic. We don't mix it up. We don't end up sending more than 4. I mean, literally all game it looked like we were sending 4.
And what's crazy, the few times they did, the one with who was it, Michael Carter and Quincy Williams, they both
worked.
got in there basically untouched.
It worked. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's what we need to do every single play when we send 4, we're getting absolutely no pressure.
They played scared to lose, man, on defense. They were just scared to lose the game. They were just panicking and scared. They were just that's whatever you do that. When you play that prevent, you're preventing yourself from winning every friggin' time.
The flip from play calling from first half to second half on both sides of the ball, because I felt like even the offense got a little bit more conservative, was embarrassing. It's like you said just now, Tyson. It's like we were playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And at that point, like,
but don't you think the only thing? And I agree with you. Like the first 2 series in the 4th quarter, they were 3 and out. But the other thing too, the only positive to come out of this is a really good learning experience for all of them: the coaching staff, the player, the quarterback, because this is the first time they play in a highly contested game against a very good team. You're going toe to toe with them, and now they're making adjustments. Okay, so now how do you adjust that? How do you handle sealing off the game and finding a way to win? How do you overcome what they're doing to you? It's a very good coaching staff, man. So they're going to learn from this, because this is really the first time they've been in this high level of game where they're playing this well. They haven't put together 3 good quarters like this. So now it's like, all right, here you are, game on the line. How do you handle it? And they didn't do well, but then the offense came back, put together a good drive. Then the defense just completely melted. So
I mean, it's like PT said all season. We can't cover tight ends.
Never.
I mean, not only do we not have a tight end, we can't cover them.
Nope. It's terrible.
There's no reason that
Part of the
Gronkowski should have
problem,
been
they
abusing
don't
us
face
like
any
that
real
when they
tight
have
ends
no
in practice.
wideouts.
That's the other good point.
Okay, now to the 4th and 2. Barrios makes a catch to put us in that position, comes up limping. Why is it even in LaFleur or whoever? It has to be LaFleur. Is it in his head that we need to include him on the sweep on this play with the option to possibly sneak? I would have much preferred, if we were going to do that, me personally, like PT, I would have taken the field goal and make Brady beat me going 75 yards, and then we go to overtime and whatever
that was
happens.
my first
happens.
reaction. Yeah,
that's what I would have did.
but I
if
didn't
you're
have any
gonna
issue
go
with the
for
play
it,
call though. Barrios had the easy touchdown if Wilson
He-
actually
he-
gave him the ball.
He was
He
moving,
did,
he was moving fine after the injury, though, man.
I mean, he came up limping, though, to where that could have been in the back of Zach's mind if, let's say, he did call his own number instead
I
of
don't
going
think
for the
so.
sweep. All I'm saying is this. Why wouldn't you call a play action and just roll him out and give Zach either the opportunity to run for 2 or to
That's
dump it
what I
off for
said.
2?
That
That
was
is the
the-
perfect play call in that situation.
That's what I did. That's exactly where I was. I was like, use his athleticism and mobility to roll him out and either
Yes.
roll him out and run for it. You can do some kind of play action, kind of bootleg,
Yes.
or run for it or throw it. Like there's so many things you can do with a mobile quarterback.
Exactly.
Anything but what they did. And
It's 2 yards, and you put him in motion, and then you have everyone sliding that way. The defense they know it's 4th down. They're on pins and needles. They don't want to give up the pass.
and they were
don't wanna
stacking
give
the
up
box.
run
They knew
either.
they were clogging the middle. That's exactly what they were doing.
That's
I
what
had
I'm saying.
I personally had no issue with the call. I had a greater issue with the lack of communication and not telling Zach specifically what he had to do on that play. Because if you know that he has
who
an
do you think
option
that
to
falls
sneak,
on PT? Is that on LaFleur or is that on Saleh?
it's on both.
It's on
On both. It's on both. Salah's the head coach. He's got to oversee everything. Yes, it's LaFleur's offense, but Saleh should know that Wilson has the option to sneak that ball in the playbook.
And they like I'm telling you,
Saleh said he was executing the playbook.
And they said, like Boomer Esiason said it yesterday. I forgot the other quarterback that said the same thing. Is they have calls in their playbook that when the coordinator talks to you, he tells you. Like there's a legitimate call. It's like it's called carry or something like that. It means you definitely hand the ball off. Like you do not keep it. Or there's plays where you definitely keep it. No matter what you see, you keep it. No matter what you see, you hand it off. There's a legitimate play for that. So that's what happens. Like so the communication had to be some kind of issue. And that's the floor, dude. But Saleh has the ability to hear it. And you're like, when they're all communicating, but listen, you tell this kid the minute we go, especially the timeout, dude, you're cutting your fucking timeout.
Timeout.
Like, Zach, I know the moment's big. There's so much shit going on. Hike the ball, hand it off. That is it. And the game would have been over.
Saleh,
It's like, I don't know if
one
it
of
was
the
you,
4
Tyson.
quarterback coaches, somebody had to say something.
Somebody.
Yeah, out of all the coaches that surround him after
Yeah,
every
right.
play. Hey, my thing is this. I don't know if it was Tyson or PT that said it, but you need to hold his hand. He's a rookie in a big spot that he's never been in before.
Yep.
Walk him through exactly what needs to get done because it's a high pressure situation in a game that he's probably feeling pressure to win because he wants to smack Brady. He knows Jets fans hate Brady. He wants to win that game. Help him by telling him what he needs to do exactly.
Well, dude, Saleh said that. Saleh said, listen, look, because that's the whole selfish thing. Saleh addressed it. He's like, listen, do you think this kid, the game is going 1,000 miles an hour. You're going toe-to-toe with Brady. You're on the 2-yard line, 4th and 2. Do you think he's worrying about being a hero? He's worrying about getting the play off correctly.
Take.
He's focused on what's the play. I want to do it perfectly because I want to win this game. Not to be a hero. He wants to win for his team. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about, like, can I flex in the end zone? Can I celebrate? No. He wants to win. So at that point, he's probably a little nervous, probably panicking. Like, okay, here's the play call. This is what I'm going to do. That's it. And it's just like, you got to tell him. You got to literally tell him, listen, kid, do this. Don't think. Don't just hand the fucking ball off. That's it.
I like that he has the option to kind of, get creative and do some improv and do some things on his own, make calls at the line and stuff like that. But 4th and 2, game on the line, out of a timeout, no excuse.
You just literally tell them, this is what you're doing. Don't think. Don't just, but you know what, Trav, the thing is, based on the way this has been handled, that this will never happen again because I think Saleh, LaFleur, and Zach all learned a very painful and valuable lesson off this one. Like, I think
they got egg on their face after that.
Yeah, I think they all had to sit down after that with a communication saying, listen, we're going to clean this shit up because we can't afford to lose games like this. So,
again, when it initially happened, fellas, I'll be completely honest with you. I thought we were throwing the game for draft position because no one calls a QB sneak on 4th and 2. Now, after hearing conversation from Saleh and everything, I've kind of been talked off the ledge on them intentionally throwing the game. And again, PT saying it being poor communication, fine, whatever. I will say this, though. I'm really just tired of Saleh just doing everything ass backwards at every presser. I say it every time I talk to you guys, but there's always one moment in every presser where I'm just like, what's wrong with this guy? It's like if he doesn't make that comment about Zach and completely throw him under the bus, maybe 3 or 4 times, because it was 3 or 4 separate times, not one time during that presser. I don't believe SNY takes that same approach on throwing it on Zach and blaming Zach to where he has to come back the next day and basically try to clean it up in a presser.
I disagree.
He's not selfish.
See, I think Saleh was in a tough spot. Now, keep in mind, dude, and I'm not making excuses for him, but he's a first-time head coach that just went through an awful play, which cost him the game, and probably the biggest game of the year for him, where his team deserved to win it. He said it 5 times. We won this game. Like, he said it 5 times. So he's probably frustrated. He's probably pissed. Then he's like, you know what? He only has a few minutes to figure out, okay, how am I going to communicate this appropriately to the media where I don't bury my team? You got to figure out, it's going to be a blame game. How do I handle this professionally? So he's trying to scramble and figure it out. He does that. He doesn't do a great job, in my opinion. On Monday, he did a much better job. But the SNY thing, that what they did has nothing to do with Saleh. That was a personal attack on Zach. That they did was over the top, ridiculous. It's inexcusable, dude. They went to a whole other level of shit. Like, look at our show, dude. We do a lot of things. I don't think we've ever called Zach a jerk. I mean, we say a lot of dumb things on this show, and we're just fans. We're not paid professional analysts.
Yeah, it's one thing to critique his game. It's another thing to talk about the man's character. And that's why, again, it felt like it was personal. But I'll say this, Tyson. You're saying Saleh's trying to figure out how to clean up the mess, first-year head coach. I understand all of that. But you don't think there's a better way than throwing the rookie QB under the bus? I'd rather him take it on the chin and him just get clowned in the media than have the kid just kind of hanging out in the wind. It seems like it's always a rookie or someone that's young that is getting the brunt of whatever, but the coach won't accept responsibilities. Vets can move without any repercussions. I'm just tired of it. I'm sick of it.
I'm critical of him too, man. And the thing is, like, we listened to the press conference live. So then as it was going on, I'm like, is this guy kidding me? Like, you threw your quarterback under the bus. Then he tried to explain. Then he was like, well, it's communication. Then he kind of backtracked a little bit. And then the next day he's like, listen, this is on the coaching staff. He took a lot more blame for it. But there's been several times this season where you're like, bro, it's like your defense has been awful, historically awful. And you're like, well, it's not the scheme. It's the execution. Well,
worst defense in the history of the Jets. Points. Yes. We still got another game. I know it's game 17, but yeah.
But it's like he's done that many times where you're listening to him and like, wait a minute, bro, like you can't lie to us. We're watching it. So don't tell me it's scheme where we see your scheme and I'm just some basic bozo, drink beers and watch football. I know your scheme isn't working. But you know what I mean? You could see it. If you can run the ball up the middle every time for 7 yards, then your scheme isn't working because you have, according to many, some talented players up front. So it's interesting. I think they're all learning though through this. Good.
The same way though that we go on about Zach and him learning through this as a rookie quarterback, it's kind of the same thing for Saleh and perhaps even more so because he's still a defensive minded coach who's now trying to learn the offensive side of the ball. He's doing press conferences every day, which he never did before. I mean, how many times have we heard Ulbrich speak this year? Defensive coordinators, they talk, how often? So. Exactly. Yeah, I think that was his only one. And this media that we have here, they're pretty savvy. They'll take a quote and run with it. And they know how to ask those questions to get certain answers out of you. So,
but before I cut out, because I know you guys got a long line of people trying to jump on, I want to ask you 2 very quick questions. The season's getting ready to end. Do you believe the arrow's pointing up or down on Zach?
Up, absolutely.
I believe so as well. And then
is that your dog?
Yeah.
He's some big ass ears, man. Well, how big is he?
He's not big, man. He's like a beagle pit mix. So he's got like the pit and beagle ears, but he's the size of like
flopping.
Yeah, dude. He's cool. He's only like 45 pounds, but he barks like he's much bigger. But and what do you think about the team, up or down, the direction we're heading in with the year getting ready to end?
Dude, you got to look at the last 3 or 4 games, man. And the thing is,
no, I agree.
You have a lot of young guys coming on. Unfortunately, they can't stay healthy like Michael Carter, but the young secondary, you have Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Zach Wilson's the biggest story. Yep. And you're looking at this offensive line where listen, I've ripped this offensive line for 3 years now. They have faced so much adversity, dude. Next man up, and they're actually playing well.
They're mauling guys right now. The way we're running the ball.
But dude, Dan Feeney, Adoga, Connor McDermott, they're all stepping up. LDT's been a fine. They last year we lost 1 or 2 linemen. It was a fucking epic jailbreak. They're beating the living shit out of the quarterback. Yeah. This year, dude, like the next man up, like almost every one of our game previews, well, mine, the last 3 weeks was like offensive line's gonna be a nightmare. We're gonna fall apart. We're missing players. We're missing McGovern. And dude, they've stepped up. So you got to give credit to the offensive line, the coach, LaFleur. And if you're a Jet fan now, it's like it's hard to not be excited because you're like, all right, they're doing this without half the players because of injuries and COVID.
Yep.
And now this is a learning experience for everybody. So you got to figure Zach will be better next year. LaFleur will be better. The defense has to be better because it can't be any worse. And you're adding significantly more talent. You got great cap space and great, good draft picks, dude. It's hard to not be excited, man. Like
I feel the same way. I just wanted your guys' opinion on it. Really quick, appreciate the content and you guys just consistently with everything. Really looking forward to the New Year's show. Can only hope that PT, grabs the mic again and gives us some hot fire. I don't know if it's going to be another Eminem rendition, but I'm looking forward to it, guys. Can't wait till you're streaming this Sunday, the game, right?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Yep, we will.
All right, then I'll be joining you, fellas. Thank you so much for having me on. Have a great night.
Good night, man. You
Appreciate
too.
it, Trev. Have a good night.
That's 3 good callers in a row, man. This is something here.
So
we're gonna go to Mike T. He looks very serious, man. He looks very focused.
What's
up,
up, guys?
man?
Hey,
up,
I'm here working at the same time, so that's why something so serious.
Multitasking.
Good calls today, though. Good calls, man.
Excellent.
I'm gonna start with the good. And I want to know you guys' opinion on this. And I don't think a lot of people are talking about this, but I think the whole John Beck hire was a really good hire. When it originally happened, I was kind of like, all right, they might be coddling Zach. It's kind of what I thought. But I believe he got hired very early November, maybe like in October. But if you look at Zach prior to John Beck being there, and of course he didn't have Booth LaFleur, so that's a part of it too. But if you look at since John Beck's been there, and Zach Wilson's progress, and I think since he's been there, it's like 7 touchdowns total, and maybe 2 turnovers. I think is what he's got right now. I just want to know your guys' opinion, because I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, you know what? I think this ended up being a really good hire. It was a smart decision. I'm not sure who pulled the trigger on it, because it's not something you usually see. Teams don't usually like external coaches coming in, and that's not part of their.
Well, I wonder if Zach actually asked for it. But yeah, I was definitely kind of nervous about it the same way that you were. That maybe he's just gonna have like too many voices in his ear. Are they trying to coddle him? And like there was a couple times where like they would pan to the bench and he was sitting there, and there were 3 coaches all around him. So it's like, is everybody on the same page? Are they all delivering the same message to him? But yeah, I think he had maybe 1 rough game since Beck was here, and then he's really taken off since. So. Well,
you also got to keep in mind, wasn't Calabrese out for a couple games because of COVID too?
I think so. Yep.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you got to think about it. This is a really good point. I never really thought about that because I was like you, Mike. I was ripping it. I'm not ripping it, but I'm like, give him the more assets he has, the better off he has. So if Zach has another coach he feels comfortable with, it's great. But I'm like, dude, how many coaches? Like, you almost feel like he's got a babysitter now. Like, come on, like you gotta give him 5 coaches to get help. But to their point, maybe it worked out. Like he's playing. He looks much smoother, much more comfortable. Like he's not no interceptions or 4 games. Maybe it helped, dude. But I think the way we'll find out, to be completely honest with you, is that they bring him back next year. If John Beck's a coach next year, he was part of the solution.
I just kind of assumed that he would be back next year. I didn't even think about, whether I'm not sure what kind of contract he's on. I don't know. It was just such a strange hire.
Doesn't he work with other quarterbacks though?
He has his own school.
Not anymore.
Is that a conflict of interest? See, I'm just wondering if they maybe brought him in because Wilson's head was clearly spinning the first half of the year, so maybe it was just like a half-year contract, get him right, and then he goes back to doing his quarterback thing. I don't know.
I love the old school logo hat, dude. That hat is badass, man.
Oh, thanks, appreciate it.
I got one just like that, but I don't think it's fitting though.
Yeah, so props there.
They got to go back to that logo.
They do.
Yeah. All right. Now to kind of my concern.
Go for it.
We've seen a lot of progress with Zach. I've seen a lot of
the
progress with LaFleur.
Here comes the butt.
What progress have we seen with Saleh?
Oh, you've seen ton, dude.
You think so?
Yeah.
Our defense is still giving up around 30 points a game. He's still making a lot of communication errors. I know he's a rookie too, so I'm not saying like get rid of a guy or anything like that. I'm just saying we're seeing a lot of progress across the board from players, other coaches. And I'm just not seeing. I mean, if you're seeing it, I'd like to know where you see it at.
Well, I'll start. Let's just start with this. They've been competing week in and week out, and for the first half of the season, or almost the first 3 quarters of the season, the first quarter of the game, neither the offense or defense could put anything together. Then slowly but surely, they're now putting together. They started putting together a good first half. Going into the third quarter, they started playing better as a team throughout. They're competing the whole time. I think we've also seen adjustments from time to time. And Saleh, I think, has improved in some aspects of time management. He did one game, I think it was like 2 games that kind of pissed me off. But I think he's done a lot. The other thing I think where he's improved, his emotion and his personality on the sideline, he became more of himself. I think early on he was too reserved, trying to be too corporate, too like, I'm a head coach now on this. And you're starting to see a lot more of his personality. You're starting to see more of his energy. I think it's translating to the sideline, translating to his team. I think he's evolving as a coach, to be completely honest with you.
So I agree as far as his personality's out there now.
I don't think Primetime agrees with me. Primetime, you don't agree with me?
I agree with parts of it. I think that, like you said, the personality, the leadership, the emotion that you're seeing on the sidelines, he looks the part. He looks more comfortable now. You're seeing the growth there. I kind of agree with Mike as far as like the X's and O's, the scheme, the lack of aggressiveness on the defense. I think that's been kind of disappointing this year, especially as we've gone on through the year. I don't think, the front seven lacks talent that much. I mean, you got CJ Mosley out there. He's, close to the record for tackles this year, for a Jet in history. So, your front four, you're paying those guys a lot of money. I think you got to expect a little bit more out of these guys. Dial up more blitzes, get aggressive. You got to see something, I think, from this defense.
And I think you're seeing a lot more of his personality because offensively we're playing better. When we were losing, I was like, "Where's the rah guy?" Hype.
But even he's working the officials now. Like for a while, like we'd see bad calls. He'd be solid with his arms crossed. Like, bro, seriously, like. We're sitting there blowing gas.
You know what I'd like to see from him that Belichick always does? There's always at least one moment in almost every single game where you see Belichick and the entire defense is rallied around him, and he's breaking down.
A couple times though.
Have we seen that from him?
2 weeks ago,
it happened, where he had the entire defense around him breaking down a play.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago we saw that. Remember we said during the stream, like, oh shit, he's on the sideline talking to his players. He's all sitting there going, he's been doing that. That's what I'm saying. We've seen him transform a lot more. He's a lot more active, a lot more lively. He's a lot more involved. Working the refs, like I think he's coming out of his shell because I think he's learning what he can and can't handle. With the defense, I agree with you, man. I've been completely disappointed, but I think in terms of his game management, I mean, this team, they were out of it for a while now. They're competing every week. Like this week, they came out on both sides of the ball, and like usually the first quarter's been a nightmare. They're going toe to toe every week now. But to be honest with you, though, this Sunday is gonna be a real good test because now they're a 17-point underdog. The weather's gonna be cold as hell. That's going to see how they come out this Sunday.
I disagree with our defense doing great last game. We gave over 400 yards. I think Tom Brady scored on his first 3 drives. I got to disagree with that. I think offensively, a lot of it I would put LaFleur. I think he's just – and I was kind of against LaFleur in the early on. I thought he was the problem. I thought he was part of the problem. Now I think he's totally part of the solution. And I'll admit I was completely wrong on that. I want to see, Saleh do good. I think he's a good guy, and we haven't had an emotional coach. We had Todd Bowles, we had Adam Gase. That was horrible. Yep. So I hope that we did find our coach, and I want nothing but the best for the team. But I've seen a lot of growth that you could really see that pops out to me throughout the team, and just defensively and then the head coach. I didn't see that same amount. Is kind of what I'm getting at.
And the one thing too is that the one thing that Sal got the benefit of doubt is he had a full year of no expectations. Like all of us as a fan base said, we knew we were going to suck this year. We all said win 4 games, 5 games. As long as Zach plays better, that's all we care about. Next year, he's not getting the same pass. Next year, it's like, you know what? The bar is now raised. You now have the standard we all expect from you. So you can't pull the same bullshit you're pulling this year, like because now you've had like your redshirt year. You had your year to like lose and justify losing and find all your excuses. Next year, standards are higher, man. He'll be held a lot more accountable next year.
Not for nothing. I mean, look at Sirianni and what he's doing with the Eagles. I mean, we all thought that franchise was going to be a disaster this year, and he's got them playing well.
Jalen Hurts bailed his ass out.
Yeah. Oh man, I got a cousin that's an Eagles fan. It's good that Zach's playing better though, because I've been kind of going back at him now. Yep. I'm like, come on, bro, you guys are vet. My rookie's putting up better numbers, so it's a good little
it's a nice feeling though, isn't it? It's nice having like Zach play well.
It's
it's nice to be able to talk shit to other
all
fans.
the talent. Yeah, he's got all the talent. He's finally putting it together.
That's great.
Barrios.
Yes.
24 mil is too much.
Okay, what are you paying him?
I think you got to be between 18 and 21. Because at 8 mil a year, I think that's right around what AJ Green's getting with the Cardinals, right? I think that's what 8 million is kind of that next level, kind of next level. But
now what Perriman got?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Did we give him like 7.5, right?
Yeah. The thing is, I know, sometimes we have to overpay, but I think 21 is a pretty good amount right there.
I agree.
I think that'd be good right there. I agree. I think he's going to test the market, though.
Think so?
I think so. I think he likes it here, but why not play your cards?
If it's anything under $7 million per year, I think he probably tests the market.
Yeah. He's by far, been our best offensive weapon, by far. And I got one last thing for you guys.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The draft.
Yes.
First 2 picks. Who are you guys going? What do you think in position wise? What are you guys going with?
See that for me? It's hard for me to answer that because you got to tell me what we do in free agency first.
Does that really matter though? I mean, if Joe Douglas wants to build, if Joe Douglas wants to build through the draft, like he's been saying, I mean, shouldn't you take best player available? Or as far
but if you have, say a draft class or like a free agency class where there's a glaring hole like this year, where you say, for example, they come out with no offensive lineman at free agency, you go into the draft like, all right, dude, that changes my perception a little bit. If you go out and sign a tight end and a wide receiver in free agency, it could change the way you could change your approach a little bit.
See, but if you had that approach last year, and they kind of did to an extent, you signed Carl Lawson, you think, all right, pass rush is solved. Well, he goes down. Now we've gone through this entire season, we haven't had a pass rush. So, like for the
and that's
tight end
example,
you got John Franklin Myers, man.
Yeah. If we could sign a tight end and draft one, also, I think there's positions that we can afford to double down on. Like sign a guy, and then if the right guy falls to you in the draft, take 2 receivers, take 2 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends, 2 pass rushers.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, we're getting better, but we still have a lot of holes on this team. Yep. So it's it's kind of one of those. I don't think there's really a wrong answer.
They've got to significantly upgrade their talent base, though. There's no excuses this year, dude. You got 2 first-round picks and cap space. Save me the Band-Aid. Save me the German guys. Give us elite talent, legit playmaking talent this year. You have to. You got to upgrade your athleticism, and you got to upgrade your speed and physicality. You have to. There's no doubt about it.
I think we got to go. I think we have to get another. I mean, I feel like we're always drafting safeties. I feel like we need another safety. Like
we don't have one now.
No, we don't.
We might need 2.
Yeah, we might need 2. And I just feel like, geez, we're always drafting safeties, man. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but that's like, and we'll go out through the whole offseason. We'll go through all like the free agency debates but for me, it's like it's so hard to talk draft before free agency, man. Because I'm kind of like, all right, let the dust settle from there. Do we have the huge glaring holes? Then maybe you do, maybe you don't. And I understand Primetime. I understand your take too. Like you go best available player. It kind of depends on how the roster sits, though. Like if you're sitting there like, wow, this is smacking us in the face. Like we really need this. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on him because if he comes here, this will be let's talk. Oh, you have no idea. Don't even get me started. It'd be Primetime's biggest nightmare. I'll have jerseys, hats.
Thought Josh Adams was bad.
You guys have no idea. I will find the way to put Notre Dame music on the stream somehow. I don't care. So
possible.
All right, pals. I know you guys got a bunch more callers, so I'll let you guys go.
Have a good night, man. Thanks for calling in.
Have a good night. Appreciate it.
Later.
That's 4 good ones in a row. Primetime. Who is going to ruin it?
I know.
We're gonna go sneakers to boots. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How are you guys?
Old school jersey.
Ooh,
was that an Altoon?
Oh yeah.
Look at you.
We're gonna break it out since we're gonna be talking a whole bunch of tight ends for the next like 3 or 4 months. So
he's a wide receiver though.
Well, yeah. Did they list him as a tight end? I thought he was listed as a tight end.
Altoon?
Mickey Schuler's a tight end.
Mickey Schuler, maybe I don't know. I just like to support the old school, man.
Can I hang up on him Primetime? I guess I gotta hang up on my thing.
Hey, that's fair.
You just called Altoon a tight end?
Oh man. The chat's not going to let you.
No, who was the other guy then?
And he's wearing his jersey for Christ's sakes.
Wesley Walker and Altoon were the two receivers.
It was Wesley Walker. But
he's a wide receiver too.
But just like that duo, I for some reason I had him as a tight end. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But let me just say like a quick couple things.
And you have his jersey on. You're wearing the jersey of a player that you don't know what position he plays.
He's a weapon.
Come on, man.
Call him a weapon.
Hey, it's been actually a long first 3 days of the new year, so I'll put off onto that. I've had some personal things going on.
We're sorry, man, but we still can't let you slide.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let me just get a couple good points, and then I'll be on my merry way.
Your face again. The chat's already just killing you.
So I just want to say that 3rd and 20 drive killed us. Like it just ruined our entire mental set for the game. Once Tom Brady got that 3rd and 20, he knew we was going to come back, and Saleh not playing any pressure on the last drive of the game. It just, you knew our entire defense was melting. You watched it right before our eyes. If you keep playing prevent defense, you're going to prevent yourself from winning. That's all I have to say with that. As for Barrios,
I completely agree with you. But it's disappointing that's kind of like we just kind of assume that we all know that, and we kind of discount like, all right, well, we all know that that's how we lose. But then, and that's where I don't think people hold Saleh accountable enough with that. That's the weirdest thing about all of this. You have the 3rd and 20 you talked about, you have the 93-yard drive. It's like, okay, like what about why isn't John Franklin Myers getting when the 4-man pass rush? Is anybody analyzing why none of these 4 guys have gotten any kind of pressure at all in the entire game? Like that's the weird thing. Nobody talks about that kind of stuff.
Clickbait. Zach Wilson always is going to be a headline. Nobody talks about Trevor Lawrence spiking the ball on 3rd and 1.
But I mean, I'm really hoping that, moving, I'm assuming with Carl Lawson coming back, you're going to have John Franklin Myers more inside, and I guess he'll be more disruptive there. Because if not, this contract's a joke. It's an awful contract because he didn't earn it this year, so he better as hell earn it next year. It's another strike against Joe Douglas and his free agency moves.
I think once he gets moved inside, that'll be where he's going to have to make his due, because if he can't play inside, then he's totally a bust with Joe Douglas in that contract.
Yep, absolutely.
For Barrios, though, I wouldn't go more than 18-20 million for 3 years, maybe 4.5 million guaranteed. I think that's fair. And then kind of more incentive based with how he plays. I do think that if Elijah Moore is on the field, Elijah Moore gets that ball, though. I don't think that. I think Barrios, he is a gadget guy. He is a great kick return. He's a great gadget guy in terms of receiver, but he's not going to be running post routes and flag routes like Elijah Moore can. And Elijah Moore can do exactly what Barrios does. So
they used Elijah Moore on that exact same play earlier in the year.
Against Houston.
Yeah.
So, and also the timeouts have literally been our kryptonite the entire year. Every time we go into timeout, it's like our brains just melt and we can't think.
It makes it worse.
So we either get to delay a game penalty off of it, obviously the 4th and 2 debacle, or we just run a dive right up the middle and on like a 3rd and 10. It's just funny. But I do have a question, and I'll let you guys go. What do you guys think of Mosley? He's been the saving grace in terms of at least the voice for this team. And especially during the beginning of the year when he was on one Jets drive and just asking like, what's your why? And I think they're starting to finally figure themselves out. With 155 tackles and still a game left to play, if he plays similar to this, like next year as he did this year, do you guys think he was worth that contract going forward and kind of culture he's sending?
For the production, probably not worth the money, but when you factor in the leadership and the lack of leadership that the Jets have on a young team right now, like he's the heart and soul of that defense. And I think
probably the team.
And I think he's somebody that legitimately cares. I think he's somebody that hates losing, and you need that kind of attitude in your locker room if you're really trying to change your culture. So I think from that standpoint, it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree too. Because that lasting imprint of culture is what we want. So, I think this was the first stepping stone of starting the process or trusting the process.
Let's hope.
Week, so
no, but I think Mosley really embraced the leadership mentor role here. I think he realized he was thrown into a really bad situation. What a lot of young guys are probably looking up to him, like, listen, help us through this. New coach, new scheme. Their heads are probably swimming, and he embraced it, man. He's playing his ass off. I think he's probably playing hurt too. He's always trying to compensate for guys around him. I mean, next year you're going to bring him back unless he wants to get traded, and then that's probably the end of him. One more good year of him, and he's probably the way he goes.
My concern earlier in the year was like, this guy's coming from Baltimore, where he was playing meaningful games every single year. Like, why would he want to come back to this? But yeah, I completely agree with you. I think he's definitely taken on that mentorship role with all these young guys, and I think he wouldn't want to just be that kind of guy that just bails out like Jamal Adams did.
Yep, I completely agree.
Yeah, I think the culture imprint is far more worth the money than like the runs first to play in the field. I mean, if we get that same production, hell yeah, I'm all about it. But yeah, I'll go vanish off. I don't know what I'm thinking tonight. So
have a good night, man.
Have a good night.
Be good, man. Have a good night.
You know what the funny thing is he's actually a really good caller. Sneakers and Boots knows his shit. We've hung out with him. Yeah. He knows his shit. But I'm like, we can't let things slide here. We hold everybody accountable. Yeah. Even our favorite callers, we have no problem.
Altoon,
a tight end. Oh, shit.
It happens. It happens. Younger
man.
Generation, it happens.
I think what's it one show last year when the Jets played the Chargers? I kept calling them the San Diego Chargers for a good friggin' hour of the show. So I make all kinds of mistakes too. Let's see. Tyson, regarding Zach, other than Salah, has anyone else come to Zach's defense? They've all talked about him. Morgan Moses has talked about him. Go on the Jet. They've all talked about him. They've all spoken very highly of him, how he's demanding more, he's demanding greatness. Go on the Jets website, man. There's all kinds of interviews out there. So don't worry about it. And Barrios too. Elijah Moore said things. They've all said it.
But apparently Willie Colon, he's hearing some things. So
yeah, he's hearing some things. He's got sources. Him and Manish. Let's see. So prime time. Who do you want to go to here? We got some. Do you want to tempt our streak?
Yes, I do.
Bastard. What's up, Chris?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing good. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing well. There are a few things I need to talk about.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with what Zach Wilson's situation about how they talked about him. And Tyson, I saw your previous video, and based on everything you mentioned, I can only think of one word that can answer everything, and that word is blasphemy. Everything that they said about him is complete blasphemy.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
I like that word.
With that aside, now I'm going to talk about the game. I have to admit, the way they played in the first 3 quarters was phenomenal. I was impressed. You
watched all 4 quarters?
I did.
There we go. Progress, just like Salah. Progress right here.
I just wish, I'm also upset, but not about the loss though. I'm more upset that the talent that they showed in the first 3 quarters, I wish they would have showed that at the beginning of the season. Because if they would have shown that level of talent, whether you believe me or not, guys, they possibly could have been.
Look how many young players. I mean, to come out of the year with new head coach, new offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback, and pretty much all new pieces across the board. There's going to be some adjustment period. I mean, everybody's learning a new system this year. New blocking system for the offensive line. Like, you can't expect the first half of the year for them to come out like gangbusters in year 2 of a rebuild.
No. But I'm saying, like, the way they showed it, I was like, I wish they could have shown it a little bit, because that would have been not only more progress, but at least it would give us an idea who we want to stay and who we want out of there.
You don't think we don't know that? We don't know that now?
Well, we all do now, but you get what I'm trying to say.
You've seen the team struggle, and then you see the team fight out of it and turn their things around, and then you're seeing that as they turn things around, who are the major contributors to that? Like right now, we realize that LaMichael Pirine and Denzel Mims are not part of the equation. They're not. They're going to be out of here. You're seeing Greg Van Roten's not going to be part of the equation. He's going to be out of here. You're slowly but surely seeing what guys aren't going to be here. So,
Tyson, I got a question about Mims. Now, based on what you mentioned, that he's not good, he's garbage and whatnot.
Why did you say all that?
Sounds personal. You get the idea. But
don't put those words in my mouth. I'll start calling you Bart Scott. I never said he was garbage. Never said those words.
All right. I take it back.
I can hear the comments. Tyson called Mims garbage. You already see this.
No, but seriously though, do you think they should drop him to the practice squad or just send him away?
I mean, right now it seems like the Jets have found every possible excuse known to man why they can't play Mims. And this week's excuse was that Jeff Smith actually outperformed them and showed more on special teams and in the offense, and they felt comfortable starting him. So when the Jets are down their 3 top receivers, and they still can't find a way to get Mims on the field, speaks volumes to me. So whether it's laziness in practice, can't pick up the scheme, doesn't run, like you've seen people cut down his route. He doesn't run crisp routes, whatever it is. It's just not working, dude. I think this, in a lost season where you have nothing but you want to play your young guys and he still can't do anything, like the writing's on the wall, dude. And the problem, and Primetime said it, Primetime's kind of saying, like, you know what, bring the training camp, see what you can happen. To me, it's like, you know what, I think maybe a change of scenery is just best. I think it just is. I just.
But what value are you?
That's
getting,
the
though?
problem. But that's the problem. But I mean, it's just he's not even playing now.
Why sell low though on a player that clearly does have a skill set? We saw it last year.
I don't think they believe him, dude.
Big guy,
I think he's just not
speed, he's physical. He might not be a fit for this offense. He might not be a good route runner. But if you can get him in there in the preseason, just make a few catches like he did this year.
Well, I would have traded him. But see, I would have traded him at the trade deadline this year.
I agree with Primetime on this one because it helped. Maybe he's still. I know it's been a while since I know he's been there. This is his sophomore year, I think. But I think to get used to it and get back his groove because we all know he dealt with
used to it. Fucking run routes, dude. Like this is it. Like it's not. This is just a matter of just contributing and showing what you can do. Like especially now, man. Like the Jets are signing guys on the practice squad all the time. You have DJ Montgomery coming in and playing. Jeff Smith's playing. I mean, they're bringing guys all like. They desperately need playmakers, man. He can't get on the field. So if you want to bring him to training camp, it's okay. We're going to give you another offseason to try to prove what you can do. Go for it. I just think it's just not – they just don't believe in him. It's just not a good fit. And at some point, they're going to cut their losses. And it's an indictment on Joe Douglas because, you know what, that was a draft class loaded with wide receivers, and he only picked one. So
and to conclude my conversation before you guys continue with your callers, I know this is going to sound weird, but why in the world was Antonio Brown stripping naked in the middle of the game?
That's chance on.
I mean, but I think to me, it's like the whole situation is unfortunate, and we're never going to find out what really happened. He's saying he's injured. The Buccaneers are saying he isn't. I'm sure they're going to try to fight over contract money. But the fact that it almost seems calculated. He dropped the rap single after the game. He went to the net game. He's doing all kinds of shit now. He's doing cameos for Ben Roethlisberger. I mean,
oh boy,
the guy's a wild card, man.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna let you go so you can continue with your all the callers. I have a project I'm working on. So
good luck with it, man.
Good night.
You too.
Have a good night.
All right, prime time. Chris
so
did his job. It's 5 in a row we got right now.
That was better.
So we have
progress.
I think,
that was like the Jets. It's progress.
Yes, I think we have our friend
a few weeks ago.
Our friend Vincent is looking for the link. So
I don't think Vincent should be allowed to come back until he explains what happened with the door gate.
That's a fair point. All right, so we're gonna bring Jack on. What's up, Jack?
Hey guys, what's going on? Prime time.
What's up, Jack? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Enjoyed the game Sunday. It was funny. I was in Miami with my family for New Year's, and I was trying to watch the game on my computer because I figured we were going to get killed. But as I'm following it, I was like, oh my God, we're actually in this game against Brady. Could we actually get what could be the last laugh against him? So I ran up to the room and I was watching it.
Nice.
And I was happy for most of it. The one thing that annoyed me, I get our defense, we don't have much talent, and where they're probably going to give up a lot like they do most of the time. But the thing that drove me crazy at the end is there's 20 seconds left. Why is this the guy in the secondary? I don't remember who it was. I think it was Riley, right?
Yeah, it was Riley. Yep.
That Vaughn beat. Why are you playing in front of him? The one job you should know is just don't let him get behind you.
Yep. He took a terrible angle. His angle was awful.
As a defensive coach, how does he not stress that?
Dude, we said it before. It's like when the 4th and 2 play, we tell Zach, definitely hand the ball off. On defense, you tell him, do not get beat deep. You always have somebody back there, and you have to expect the shot to the end zone. You got to expect these things. They're gonna take their explosive play. They did it. It was
yeah.
And prior to that, though, I couldn't understand. You were screaming at the TV the whole time. Like, why weren't they sending anybody?
Nobody.
Why were they just trying to play the clock game? Why
they blitzed? They blitzed 3 times in that game, and every time they blitzed, they had success with it. Every time.
Especially with 20 seconds left, they have no sacks. If you can get him to the ground, it's
or just get him off. Like he was basically flat-footed, standing there making throws, just picking out. Okay, I'm gonna throw it here. He wasn't even being moved.
And he just picked us apart. He just went 97 yards. Yeah, that was the main thing that bothered me. And I feel so bad for Zach, like you guys have been saying. He played great, and everything all the media cares about is the 4th and 2.
Yep.
It's just a shame because, and honestly, I feel a lot better. The second half of the season, he's played much better ever since he came back from the injury. At least for me, I would probably say out of all the rookie quarterbacks, obviously Mac Jones, he's doing well in New England. But I'd say I think he's been the best besides Mac Jones.
Yeah, he's made a lot of progress, man. He's overcome a lot this season, man. You figure from starting off slow with all the injuries, then he gets hurt. Then you have the question, then everybody playing good. Mike White has a breakout game. Joe Flacco, everybody does good but him. He overcame that. He overcame injuries. Did all kinds of these. Look where he's playing now. Like we're all feeling good about it. Like we're now we have a glimmer of hope.
Yeah. So I have a couple questions. I've said this in the comments. I'm curious what you guys think of this because I feel like nobody's talked about it. What do you think is going to happen with Mekhi Becton? He's been out all year with injury. They've said
we called that, by the way. You realize that in Carolina we called that injury, but nobody gave us credit. They said we were drunk.
That is true. Yeah.
We also had the luxury of seeing him crying when he was getting carted off.
He actually got carted off directly in front of us.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Right. Did he cart it literally right in front of us?
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I was really I was excited to see obviously him and Vera Tucker, and who Vera Tucker's looked great this year, and I was excited for at least next season we'll see these two. Hopefully the Jets don't have to worry about the left side of the line for the next 5 to 7 years. And now obviously his injury, I've heard some in the media say he's in bad shape. He doesn't give much effort. Do you think the job is definitely his going into next season, or is he going to have to battle with Fant for it?
I think he's probably going to start out as your right tackle. If at some point either Fant gets hurt or Becton just, he's in shape, he looks dominant, then maybe they would consider a switch and put him back to left tackle. But I think right now Fant's played well enough where it's his job.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of pressure on Becton, man, because you figure he's not injury prone. The injury he had this year was freak. That's something that you can't control shit like that. But prior to that, and we touched on this yesterday a little bit, is prior to that, he wasn't playing well, man. He had a very rough offseason where the coaching staff themselves were talking about conditioning, making a better commitment to himself, getting the best shape of his life. They said it, and they said it again this year. They've asked Sal a couple times in the last couple of weeks, is he coming back to practice? What are your expectations? And he keeps saying, make a commitment to himself to get in the best shape of his life and really clean things up a lot. So he's got to get a lot better shape. He's got to clean up his technique, and he's got to work his ass off. I don't think they should. I mean, I kind of agree with Primetime. I think they say, listen, if you bring back Fant, make Fant your left tackle, move back to the right, and see what happens. But you got to motivate him. You got to push him and make sure he earns everything now. He has to.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Another question. I think it's this year. I don't remember if it's this year or next year. Quinn Williams, I believe, is up for a contract extension, right?
So I believe they'll have to pick up his 5th-year option this year.
Yeah.
They have to make a decision on that. Yeah.
Yeah. How much did you guys pay him? I'm curious about that.
I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Can you even give him a contract right now?
Yeah,
because he's gonna want to get paid like top 5 defensive line money.
Yeah,
but has he put up those numbers to warrant that right now?
He plays well, but he's only mostly. I know he's more. I feel like he does more for the run. He's not a 12 sack a year guy, at least so far. He's still young.
Could be. He could be. He should be.
Yeah, at least for now.
But see, here's the question: how much better a player would he be with Carl Lawson on the outside?
Yeah, that's
true. Would he be a lot more disruptive with an outside force? Now, I understand if you want to pay a guy $18 million a year, you shouldn't have to rely on a guy on the outside. But I'm curious, if Lawson comes back, John Franklin Myers next to him, does that make a difference? I mean, I think Rankins was pretty good, but I mean, I like right now he's like Quinn to me is like a good player that makes splash plays from time to time. That's what the kind of player I look at him as. I don't think he's elite. Like I know that Brian Baldwin released a video like, oh, he's elite, he's this and that. Then why does our run defense blow so bad? Like I don't. It's
totally true.
I don't know.
You want to give him okay.
No, I mean, Jack, that was the question we were asked yesterday. Is if somebody offered you a 1st and 3rd round pick for Quinn Williams, what do you do?
Yeah, it's tough. I would say it depends on the team and kind of like
pick
the situation.
Adios.
No, it's also it's that too. But at the same time, it's like I always say this. Like me and my dad, we always say this. Whenever the Jets, like with the exception of Sam Darnold, I feel whenever we let these guys go, they just turn amazing. A lot. I don't know. I just feel like whenever we just like Denzel Mims, like I can see like if the Jets let him go, just watch him like he'll become like a very solid player.
Yeah, if you don't have to, I mean, you trade him, but I mean, I don't think you have to make a decision this year anyway. I think they'll find a way to keep him next year. But like. The Jets haven't had talent in years, dude. They never let players go. Like, oh shit. Like we were all wrong about Le'Veon Bell. The Jets cut Le'Veon Bell. Like, oh, now he's gonna go somewhere else and light it up. His career completely tailed off. Robbie Anderson had one decent year. Now he's falling apart. Like Jamal Adams has been a disaster in Seattle. Like the Jets really haven't had like elite talent where they left. You're like the only one, to be honest with you, is probably Demario
Leonard
Davis.
Williams, maybe. Oh, yeah.
Demario Davis has been a fucking
Leonard
star.
Williams, not this
Yeah,
year,
the
but
one.
last
Yeah,
year.
Leonard Williams had the one good year last year.
He got paid, and he went down with the Giants.
That was the end of that.
Quinnen Williams is going to be a fascinating conversation, man, because a lot of fans are very, very high on him and think that they should pay him no matter what he wants. And other fans think he's good, and you know what? Hold on and hang out. So we'll see.
I think you're still figuring out what he is, so it's hard to pay a guy like that.
I don't know what
Obviously,
he is.
I think he's incredibly talented. I think he's got a ceiling that could be a top 5 defensive lineman. But until he shows you that, I don't know if you can give him that that 5-year, $80 million contract or whatever he's looking for.
Yeah, I totally agree. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm excited for the draft for the first time, and it feels like forever. We had a great draft, and we actually have we found 4 or 5 real players. Normally, we always talk about it looks good on paper, and then we usually just have like the Jamal Adams or Leonard Williams to feel good about, and we find no other solid player. This year, we found a bunch. So
no, this year's draft class offsets last year's bad draft class.
Totally, yeah. We got Zach looks solid. Vera Tucker looks great. Michael Carter, the running back, I'm really excited to see him. Even both of them are very good.
Brandon Eccles.
Yeah, Eccles is good. Elijah Moore, he looked like a number 1 receiver for those 5 weeks. He was actually
this draft class has been a slam dunk, man. It's been good.
And who knows if even Pinnock can make a name for himself at safety. You got Nasruddin and Sherwood, a linebacker. You got some speed there, and maybe another year in the system helps them. You got some players here. Yeah,
and when it comes to free agency, I was looking at it quickly before I came on here just to see some of the names that are out there. Mainly, do you guys think we should pay a wide receiver? Obviously, there's some good ones on this. There's some good ones that have injuries, so they could be a little bit cheaper. Namely, the 2 that come to mind are Chris Godwin and Michael Gallup. But
serious injuries?
In addition to Barrios, too?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Didn't Gallup have like a torn ACL?
Yeah,
was it a torn ACL? I didn't see. I just knew.
On the touchdown catch the other night. Yeah, he tore it.
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
I like Gallup before that, but that kind of injury, man.
Isn't Allen Robinson going to be a free agent also?
Yep. Allen Robinson won't be franchised, and his numbers are awful this year. Yep. So curious to see what he gets in it. I like him a lot.
Solid weapons, even at tight ends. Zach Ertz, that could be an interesting one.
He's a lot of tight ends.
Yeah, 31, but he'd still be an upgrade over what we have.
Yeah, I mean, like for like the tight end position, I respect Ertz, but I'd rather get somebody a little bit younger, a little bit less miles in their tires, and have a guy that could be here 4 or 5 years with Zach. Kind of let them grow together. Like have Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, all this young nucleus be together for like 4 or 5 years.
If you draft one in the second round, though, why not have a guy like Ertz, who's an experienced veteran, to kind of help groom him a little bit?
Would you like David Njoku? I think he's up there. What is he, like 25, 26?
Yep. I like him a lot.
Yeah, so interesting. It's another offseason. It's just like you got to hit it out of the park.
It's our yearly ritual, man. This is our best time of the year.
So I know. Unfortunately. All right, well, I'll let
Thanks
you
for
guys.
calling, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Anytime. Love the show. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too.
That's 6 in a row, man. This show's on a streak here.
What could go wrong?
Let's bring on Dan. Let's test it out. What's up, Dan?
What up, boys? What's going on?
What are you driving?
Yeah. I had to pull over.
We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I had a long day at work, man. So, with COVID going up in rates and stuff like that. So it is what it is.
You work in a hospital, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hang in there, dude. That's got to be brutal for you right now.
We are, man. But, keep pushing strong, man. We'll get through this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, guys, look, I just want to touch on the whole Zach Wilson thing just for a little bit, because maybe I'm a little bit old school when it comes down to quarterbacking. Let's say if Bart Scott is right and the other guy was right too. I keep forgetting his name, and I actually met the guy, the offensive lineman
Willie
that we had. Yeah, Willie, which I respect both of them. I didn't like the 4th and 2 until I heard what actually happened. Mm-hmm. So if it had to be a handoff, and Zach put it upon himself to do it, I'm perfectly fine with it. Yeah. Now you say, but we didn't pick it up. Yeah, but you want a 22-year-old. This is the whole developing process. You want this kid having that asshole time mentality that it's on me. I don't give a shit what people are going to say. I don't care what the coaches are going to say. If we're going to win this game, it's going to be on my shoulders. Granted, he didn't pick up the 2 yards. This is a learning process. But how many quarterbacks have we seen that have stepped up, developed the right way, and teammates kind of don't like them, but they can't win without them? You see Troy Aikman, nice guy, this and that. He was a dick. He is an asshole, but he won. He merited respect. Dan Marino, another guy. How many times would he yell at his own teammates?
Oh, Aaron Rodgers is an asshole.
Aaron Rodgers.
And so is Tom Brady.
Tell me that. Tom Brady, another one. How many of those quarterbacks would we want on the Jets at their prime?
Yeah, but Dan, listen, I completely respect your point. I like Zach Wilson's swagger, but I also don't think he right now, currently where he's at, I don't think he's in a position to be like that, because I think he's still learning the playbook and learning what he can and can't do. Like I genuinely don't think he did that on Sunday. I don't think he said, you know what, I want to try to win this game. I want to, take it myself. I don't think if he did, he's got balls. I mean, I think he's got swag to him. He's got confidence in him. I think he will be a risk taker for sure. And you need that, especially in this market, man. You can't be, we run out soft quarterbacks, and we just ran out of soft quarterback last year. So
that's my point.
I don't think he did that this year, though. I don't think he did it this week.
I had no issue with him making an adjustment there, or having the ability to make his own call. I just thought it was a stupid decision, and I don't even blame him for that decision. Like I've been saying, I blame Saleh, I blame LaFleur for not communicating it properly during the timeout. But yeah, I have no problem at all with the swag, with him being a little bit of an asshole, to calling guys out, whatever it is. Like, be a leader. That's the job of a quarterback. So the more comfortable he gets, and he wants to dial up his own things, if he feels comfortable doing that and he has the ability to do that within the offense, so be it. You want that kind of growth from your quarterback. So I'm cool with it. Just there, I didn't like it.
I hear you. I thought this game was the best game that he had all year. Yep. Like you see how he just stepped into his throws. He didn't backpedal and chuck it off his back foot. He did a lot of great things. And obviously I'm looking at it, and I think that he's gonna take huge strides for next year. And Tyson, you hit it on the head. Next year, it's all out, man. All this stuff happening this year, we all knew heading into this year that it was gonna be a year of developing Zach Wilson. But not only that, it was also seeing if we had any core players. If we had, and we do, we found that out this year that we actually do. Perfect. Yep. But come next year, 2022, I don't want to hear about we're still building. It's acceptable for another 5-12 season, 4-13 season. It's not acceptable. Maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when football was different, let's say even 30 years ago when there wasn't even free agency. Fuck it. Shit. You know what? You got to deal with the players that you draft. But teams change in one off season. Yep. We have a plethora of cash at our disposal in free agency, a boatload of draft picks. Joe Douglas has to build off of last year, and we have to contend. I'm telling you, we got to contend. If Zach Wilson
contend for a playoff spot.
Exactly. Zach Wilson, offseason, got to step up. He knows what to expect. Same goes with everything else. I fully expect a new defensive coordinator. I think Vic Fangio is going to be one of them. You got Chris Richards out there. You got Jim Schwartz out there. Joe Douglas has to know that he's on a short leash. Even Saleh, he has to know this might be my only chance. If you can upgrade on certain coaching staffs and players, you go and you do it. And that brings me segues to Barrios. Enough of this bullshit of I'm not going to pay him this much. You can't build without bricks. You got to pay this dude, because if you don't pay him, he's going to be a nightmare. Seeing him twice a year with New England, Belichick ain't no dummy.
So what
if he's got to pay him $11 million a year, you give him $11 million a year.
What?
No.
Bro, you cannot pay him $11 million a year. You can't.
All right, we'll have this discussion in 2 years.
We will.
If we don't retain him, he's going to make our life a living hell.
Listen, but we all agree we should retain him, but you have to have some kind of boundary of what you're going to pay him. You got to have, like, he's not a game-breaking elite level talent. $11 million, you're going to pay him like Corey Davis money.
Give him that money.
That's more than
Give
Corey
him that money because he's durable.
What?
He's durable.
That's more than Corey Davis.
He could turn it into that. And he's got great chemistry with our young quarterback. That's what we want, right? We want developing a young quarterback.
But right now he's doing this with Elijah Moore out. I wonder what happens when Elijah Moore comes out. How many opportunities is he going to get then?
Even more lethal, because we're not going to have Crowder next year. You know what I mean? Like, and we got to
Crowder. If you have Corey Davis, Moore, and say Barrios is your 3, do you think he's honestly going to get the same opportunities he's getting now? Elijah Moore's going to get a lot of that stuff then.
But even that much more as with a kick returner and a punt returner, he gives that much more to the team. It's not just
a year.
Yeah, I would, man. Sign me up, because it's very difficult to find someone with that much heart and that much more that he gives to the team. He merits it, in my opinion. Just my opinion.
I agree. Listen. I think we all want him back, but I have my limits too, because he only has 2 touchdowns this year, 40-something catches and 400 yards.
Yep.
11. I mean, you're paying him more than that's like a next level payment of a receiver there. You're paying a lot of potential, I guess. That's too much. Listen, I'm at that $7 million mark, $6 million. If I have to really, really stretch to 8, I'd probably hate it.
I can't.
Although him and his agent could look at John Franklin Myers and say, well, he only had 2.5 sacks and you gave him $12 million. So I mean,
bingo, dude. Great point. And that was
I agree about like rewarding players and trying to have continuity, bringing guys back. I think that's important, especially for Zach. I just think you got to be smart with it. I don't think he's warranted $11 million per year.
Well, I mean, he doesn't fall in that category that we can match, right? Like we can't tag him and stuff like that, or that ship.
You can't tag it. You can't tag him, no.
No, not tagging, like that restriction, that RFA.
I think he's unrestricted free agent.
All right. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for having me on the show. What a great year, man. I just love watching you guys, man. Keep up the great job. Next year, we all got to get together for tailgate.
We got to go to your man cave. What are you talking about?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Still waiting for
Be careful, man. Be safe out there.
Likewise, man. Be safe.
Good night.
Thank you, man.
Good night.
I love when Dan calls in, man. His man cave. I remember, who was it called? Chris called in last week with his man cave.
Yeah, Chris has got the awesome one with
Dan's got a sick man fridge. Cave, man. Yeah, his cave, and he's been calling us for a few years now, man. I used to fight with him. Remember, we used to have some nasty fights over contracts and players. Oof. Yeah, I think we've matured since then. We think we're much calmer now than we used to be.
I think the face-to-face helps also.
Yes,
relaxes. Yeah, a little bit. At times.
Some of those phone calls, we used to go off the rails, dude. Oh my God. We would argue for 20 minutes.
Yep.
We probably lose so many subscribers. Holy shit. Now, Dan is a lifelong, diehard, passionate Jet fan, man. He goes back, like he can give you names, numbers. He would definitely not call Altoona tight end. I can tell you that much. Poor Sneakers the Boots is so screwed, man. He's never lived that shit down. All right, prime time. Do you want chaos or do you want calm?
Let's get the chaos out of the way, and then we'll end on a calm note.
All right. What's up, man?
What's up? I don't know what's more frustrating about Sunday's game. The fact Braxton Barrios was comically wide open if they pitch him the ball, or the fact that AB shenanigans takes the spotlight away from what was an excellent effort by the Jets.
I don't think AB's antics took away from the Jets at all, man. The whole story was a 4th and 2 play for most of us.
And did you go back and look at the play? You see how wide open Barrios is?
Yes, I watched it many times.
I'm like,
I watched it way too many times.
I have a coworker who was a Giants fan who was working during the game. He goes back home, watches the clip, and he comes back and tells me, "Oh my God, you're right. He's so comically wide open."
Yeah, you tell your Giant friend, like, bro, you had negative 10 passing yards. Go find something else to fucking talk about.
No, he knows. He was a teenager. This guy was a teenager when Pisarcik fumbled the football. That's how old he is.
Prime time.
No, just really quick. Are we ever going to find out the backstory on what happened a few weeks ago, or are we just going to move on?
What are you talking about?
The bang on the door and the hand signal to get away.
Oh yeah, that was my mother just asking me for something I tell her I'm on a phone call, and then she completely forgot that I was on a phone call.
Okay.
I mean, you're a celebrity. She should know this. You got a lot going on tonight. You got a lot of shows to call into.
You have a sign you can put on the door.
It's just
hang a hat in the knob.
No, it's just memory slipping. You know,
That
my
makes
family
sense.
has a long history of Alzheimer's and dementia. So
we have a more pressing question. How are the dogs?
dogs are fine. They're getting scheduled for their bi-monthly haircut.
Bi-monthly, and that's pretty long, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they did their annual haircut. I don't remember how
annual. They get their haircut once a year.
Hairy bastards. I'm having a brain for it now. It's like it's every 2 or 3 months we give them a haircut.
It's not every quarter.
Wait, what?
It's either bi-monthly, quarterly, or annually. They get their haircut. At least they get their haircut. I'm just not sure when.
So anywhere from 6 to 1 time a year.
Yeah, all right. I'm having a brain fart, right? But like back to the game, you know, I was honestly, it's probably overall, you know, can we get the jokes aside and stuff? It's probably Zach's best game, like in terms of playing within the offense. I mean, the flashiest game is obviously the Titans game, but like in terms of like doing everything we want to see, the accurate passes, you know, getting everything.
Flashy in this game, dude. He threw like 4 or 5 throws that were remarkable on Sunday.
Some real there
was some great throws. I'm talking about like him chucking the ball deep. There were no.
Oh, I don't.
In terms of like the deep ball, you know.
Okay.
That's what I meant in terms of flashy.
He did have like 2 big plays in that Titan game. The one to Corey Davis and somebody else.
Yeah,
that
was but no, this was a fun game. You know, it is frustrating. I would have just loved just to beat Tom Brady one last time.
Yep, I agree, man.
It's frustrating, but you know what? Like it's a learning experience. And here's the thing: you'd rather have them have these types of mistakes in meaningless games and have them do it, you know, when you're trying to make a playoff run.
Absolutely right, dude. It's a great learning experience, man, for the coaching staff, the quarterback, everybody. Now you're learning how when you play a good team in crunch time, how you find a way to win the game. So
you know what they say: the greatest teacher is failure.
Right. That's why prime time is just rising the charts right now.
Sal's gonna use that quote.
That's right.
But but you know what the game tells me? Like, man, we desperately need to get some wide receiver help.
That's what this game told you?
No, like what's been happening down the stretch. The fact that we're throwing to, I don't even. It's like the only guy I can recognize at this point is Braxton Barrios.
You don't recognize Keelan Cole and Jeff Smith?
I recognize Keelan Cole on the drop.
Cole and Smith, but like really, like we're down to the bare bones of our wide receiver room. We need to
that speaks volumes for Zach, doesn't it? He's still throwing the ball all over the place.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, and look, the one thing I hate that I've been seeing a lot of recently, I've had a couple of these Twitter arguments with, is, you know, the quote unquote football fundamentalists. You know, the guys who still think it's 1975 and you got to run 90% of the time and throw you can't throw more than 15 passes, throwing their hissy fit on how like we should have kicked the field goal, even though you're going to give Tom Brady 70 yards to march down the field instead of 90 yards, and he's still going to get the touchdown. And because it's Tom Brady and he loves to make us suffer, he's going to.
So if that was a big game, if that was a playoff game, you're not taking the 7-point lead.
It all depends on the quarterback, you know. Because look, if you're playing more middle of the pack quarterback or a younger and experienced quarterback, maybe I take the 7. But when you're playing the cream of the crop guys, the Bradys, the Mahomes, the Rodgers, you can't take it because you know what they're capable of, you know what they can do. They're gonna march down the field, and especially because it's Brady and he hates us, and it's Arians, the super aggressive head coach that is, they're going to go for 2 because they don't want to tie. They want to win. That's their mindset.
I agree. See, we finally agree, Vince. It's taken us 2 years. We finally agree on something.
Yeah, but I had like this whole argument. I had to pull up the clip of the 4th and 2 play just to point out the fact that had the Jets like pitched the ball to Barrios, there was nothing stopping him from scoring.
It's not even worth to argue about, man. You know, you take that time and spend it with your dogs, man. Just get them haircuts and relax and just be happier in life, man. Don't argue people on Twitter. It's not worth the energy. I've learned these lessons.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. But, you know, I'm just looking forward to the end of the season. I'm just hoping. Honestly, the end of this week is like conflicting for me because it's like if we win, let's say we beat the Bills, the Patriots end up winning the division, we're gonna end up hearing nonstop snarky Patriots fans talking about how their dynasty is back in like their stupid, thick Boston accent that they all friggin' have.
Can you do a Boston accent?
I can try. It's you gotta start. It's like it's really bad. I picked it up from my cousin's brother in Boston.
Give us your take. Give us your take on re-signing Braxton Barrios in a Boston accent. I want to hear this.
You're gonna make me do this.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it's gonna take me a couple seconds.
Take a deep breath. Compose yourself for a little bit. Think about what you want to say.
Why do you do this to me, man?
No, man. Okay. If you brought, you totally got to friggin' sign Braxton Barrios. If you don't, the friggin' Pats are gonna get him, and you're gonna win like 6 friggin' Super Bowls, and all their fans are gonna go to Red Lobster, have some Sam Adams, and fucking drink themselves as they friggin' win 6 more Super Bowls.
I'm done.
That's really bad.
Awesome. Well done. I liked it.
That was a bad one.
I liked it.
Oh fuck.
That was a bad one.
Prime time, I hate you, dude. I absolutely hate you. It's just. I don't know how the fuck we have viewers.
I make you laugh so hard you're on the verge of pissing.
Jesus Christ.
Caller of the week. Yep.
Oh,
absolutely.
Oh my God. Vincent, have a great night, man. Good talking to you again.
All right, peace, guys.
Have a good night, man.
Happy New Year.
You too, man. Prime time, I hate you. I absolutely hate you.
Call the night.
Why do you put me through this? This shit is not fair. It's not fair.
That was great.
And the best thing is he got mad at me. Can we stop with the jokes now? He got mad for my jokes. And then he does that shit for 2 minutes. Oh, man. This is just not fair, man.
One of a kind.
Oh. And yeah, now we're from our sponsors. This is where like people like, this show isn't too bad. They watch that like, yep, we're out. We're completely out. We're done. Oh, shit. We got to bring back sanity. Afram, what's up, man? Save us.
Why you calling Mims trash?
Yes, yeah, I heard it.
What's going on with you?
I guarantee you there will be somebody in the comments tomorrow be like, I can't believe you called Mims trash. I never even mentioned that at all.
Personal shots.
It's gonna be horrible tomorrow. I wouldn't even pick up my phone if I was you. It was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
What did we say? He was the 14-point underdog. All we cared about it was his progression.
Yep.
They didn't win. They played well. But his progression was a lot more than I think people anticipated because he had nobody to throw to, and he was throwing darts to guys that normally don't play. Okay? That, to me, is a major step up. If he was throwing to Davis, Moore, guys that are more talent, then you would say half and half. But when he had what he had on that field, and he's throwing, his passes were very accurate. None on the side, no one's reaching in to grab the ball. It was a beautiful game. I enjoyed it. And I'm just looking forward. I mean, I don't expect much this week. I just think the matchup is different. It's much different because now you got to worry about a quarterback who can run the ball. And so now, and who can pass it. So what do you do? It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game. And especially they're fighting for that overall division win. They don't want to be a wild card because that's what happens. The only thing I could see is hoping that Miami beats New England because they're fighting for a chance to get in there too. So, but it was good. It was good. It was good to see. You've seen that no matter who's in there, as long as your quarterback's in there, the system works.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing I think we've seen all year with all
system.
the injuries, with multiple quarterbacks, and how many guys that they've had out. The system's been working beyond the first 4 or 5 weeks.
When the guy that controls the game understands the system, everything falls into place. It's been proven. When he did in the beginning, trying to win games on his own or trying to just force the ball, we saw what happened. It just didn't work out.
Yep.
But I think he came to reality and realized, hey, let me just play the game the way they want me to. And he picked it up, and I look forward to
let's talk. Let's talk about more controversial shit. We want to get your honest takes on the crucial stories out there right now. Your
Barrios.
Thoughts? No. Your thoughts on SNY's attack of Zach Wilson?
I thought it was BS. I don't really care about the media, because if he made that 4th and 2, he would have said that's the kind of quarterback you want for this team. A guy who goes and gets it. He wants to win. Okay. There's the hypocrisy of all of this. You do a bad move, you look like shit. You do a great move, you're a hero.
Yep.
So it's the game the media plays. I don't worry about it. It's a learning experience, like you said. They all made mistakes. It happened. It happened at the wrong time. But I personally, I would have went for the field goal. And because I'm guaranteeing you, they weren't going for 2. They were going to tie the game because they knew that they could march down the field again and just kick the field goal, because they felt that their defense was playing a lot better.
Yep.
So, but it happened. Hey, we weren't looking for much. It's the draw of the game, Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going. It's a little.
The answer is yes, you're high, and the towel is crooked. There's 2 yes. So, Afram, you know what? We've decided that based on your intense knowledge of the team and salary cap, you're going to be our resident salary cap expert, because you always know the financials.
I'm only listen.
Nope, you're the expert.
I said it yesterday. $5 million. And here's who's a better wide receiver, Crowder or Barrios?
Crowder.
And you went down his salary to $5 million, and he took it. He could have walked and got more, right? But he took it. He
was later in free agency. Yeah,
that's fine. But it was still negotiated down to $5 million. You're paying that guy Feldman with some incentive to bring him up to 6.
Special teams doesn't factor in. Like, Crowder's not a special teams guy. Barrios was second for Pro Bowl this year.
Yeah. Does it warrant $11 million?
Not 11. More than 5. I think more than 5.
I just don't see it. I don't see Douglas giving it to him. I really don't. I mean,
so what's your max? 5?
I say 5, maybe. What is he? 27?
He's young. I think he's like 20, 26. I forget.
I think he's 26.
I listen. I give him 5. I'll give him 4 years. I give him longer years than someone else would take, and with some incentives. How many games you're going to get in? If you with Moore and Davis, and if you're going to draft another wide receiver high,
yep,
you ain't going to see the field much.
Especially with Moore. I think Moore takes a lot of those sweeps and a lot of things that they use him for right now.
And they're going to look for a guy who's going to open up the field deep.
Yep.
All right. As far as Mims, I could see them keeping him, but I could also see him being in a trade to move up in the draft. Like, give me a 4th round pick plus Mims to move up to a 3rd.
That's a good idea.
Okay, you could see that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I could also, and I'm telling you, I'm a little concerned, but I get a feeling. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's just more and more I think about it. I see them trading Quinnen for some draft pick.
So what is it's not this year, it's next year to pick up the option. This is only his 3rd year, right? How many years has he been here? 3 years or 4 years? I forget.
Yeah, but he's going into next year is going to be his 4th year. So that
you pick up the option next year for 5th year.
Yeah, this offseason I think is where they pick it up for the 5th year. Yeah.
You have to pick it up in the offseason.
I think
next year, not this year.
I thought it's this year.
It's a year ahead, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think you could pick it up right before. No, because Sam Darnold just had his option picked up after his 3rd year.
Is that? I gotta look at that.
Sam Darnold just had his option picked up by the Panthers after his 3rd year with the Jets.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
I gotta look. I'm not saying you're right. I'll look it up and research it.
But
Afram is our cap and salary guy. This is really his job, not ours.
Yeah. Yeah,
the question I have for you is though, and this is the weird thing with Quentin Williams, because there's games where he looks like a dominant force, and there's other games he completely vanishes where like they just the whole defense looks like shit. So like, is he a good player that has moments? Is he a great player that's still blossoming? Like, what is he?
Or is he a player that needs a better player next to him to be a good player? He needs that secondary help. He can't do it alone.
But then
he's not a destructive force alone.
But then if he's not a destructive force alone, do you pay him $17 million a year?
How can I pay him more than I'm paying Carl Lawson?
Yeah, I mean, look at the money. Look at the money freaking John Franklin Myers is making, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
and that's another problem. How much money are you going to put on the defensive line too?
Yeah, I think he got paid because I think they knew where his position should be. If he goes in the open market, he's going to get more. I think that's what I keep reading.
But John Franklin Myers, how many sacks does he have right now? 6?
No. I don't think that's his. I don't think he's an outside edge. I don't think he's an outside.
But
edge.
right now, how many sacks does he have? So if the Jets didn't pay John Franklin Myers, what would be his value in the open market? Right? If he goes to free agency, what would he get paid right now as a free agent?
6 sacks. You're right.
Yep. I would have to see what the going rate for, because he's an interior lineman mostly. I know they have him as a DE, but his position is interior, and I don't think he doesn't have the speed to be an edge.
So you figure if you have Carl Lawson money, you have John Franklin Myers money. I mean, Rankins was making a lot. Then it's like, all right, then Quentin
Rankins,
Williams.
what, $6 million? Rankins $6 million.
But then you add in
Quentin Williams. For next year, though, is like $9 million.
That's a lot of friggin' money.
Let me ask you this: if you do trade Quentin, are you going to sign Foley? You going to bring him back?
Yes.
He's good for the run. He's a good run stopper.
He was all over the place on Sunday.
But he has to be in the game more. You know.
I hate that 60% rule. I hate that rule they have. It drives me insane.
It's not. You know. I see. It's hard to tell what he's going to do now, how they're going to run it, but I don't think they. A lot of things happened with LaMarcus Joyner out. It forced a lot of changes, and that's why the run got bad. It's just that whole. A lot of people got hurt, and a lot of people playing out of position. It was just a rough year for defense. I anticipated this bad, but hey, it is what it is. I expect some. I can see what they can do in free agency first.
Yep.
Are they going defense or mostly offense in the free agency? But we got nine solid picks up to the 5th round. Nothing 6th, 7th. They trade all that up. We'll see. We'll see if they want to move up further. Are they going to see what lands to them in the 4th spot?
Well, I have a question for you. What do you do with LDT? Because he's an unrestricted free agent. Do you try bringing him back? He's played fairly well.
Depends how much he, like you said, do you bring him in back as a starter?
Yeah, that's the difference.
And because he's fairly young, I think he's 27, 28.
Yep.
He could probably be in that. You could probably be in that Feeney range, that $3.5, $4 million range, kind of like fringe starter, your 6th offensive lineman.
Do you pay him that much? Is it worth it?
$4 million? Yeah, I would.
To me, it
is.
is.
That.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. You keep it.
Yeah,
you have to. I do believe you signed Fant for a couple of years. I think he's proven himself, and I think he's solidified that left side quite a bit. It's helped the kid tremendously as far as the sacks. Cutting down on the sacks.
I thought you said sex. I'm like, what's sex?
Sacks. What's the difference? Sex and the sack.
I could have sworn.
It's the same thing.
The topic just changed. I missed it. Hold on.
And Beckton, we got to see what happens with him. Is he going to be like a Mims and not put the effort in?
Dude, and Salah keeps saying that, man. Not in those words, but they keep saying he's got to make a commitment to himself. He's got to get in the best shape of his life. He's got to, clean up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's why if you sign Fant, you're pretty much telling him,
yep,
you're not, you're going to lose your job. And if they put him on the right side, has he ever played in the right side? That's the thing. Is it an easier position for him at that point? Is it easy for left tackle to play in the right tackle?
Yeah, that I don't know.
I feel like his game could be better suited for a right tackle, just like that mauler in the run game.
I agree with you. But can he adapt? That's the other thing, because he's been playing left tackle, I think, all his career, right, in college. And
I'm pretty sure he only played left tackle at Louisville. Pretty sure.
Yeah, so it's there's some positions you can start and then it's easier to transition to. So I never played the line. Or I never played a football. So is it an easier transition for a left tackle to become a right tackle versus right tackle to left tackle? It's
George Fant did it.
Yeah, I actually played real good. I think he played better left tackle than he did right tackle.
I think he did too.
Yeah, but I look forward. I mean, 2022, year of the Jets. Keep saying it. I just no negativity, because out of
that's prime time. On the positive one, prime time is a doom and gloom guy.
Out of negativity, there's always comes out positivity.
Me?
Remember, he gets angry. He gets angry. I don't blame him. He wants to get something. He's got season tickets. He wants to be able to go and enjoy the game. How many years he's been doing it?
That's where my frustration comes from.
That's okay. Hey, but you're a Met fan, so you should expect it.
well, that's the problem. I don't get any release other than the Rangers right now. That's the only release.
Yeah, that's
definitely not the Knicks. That's for sure.
No.
Actually, they won.
Did they win?
Yeah, they just beat the Pacers.
I saw RJ Barrett was going off in the first quarter. He had like
they're interviewing him right now. So
it's not a prime time. So prime time's distracted watching Nicky. I'm trying to do a show over here.
I haven't even watched it. His line's posted right now: 32 points, 8 rebounds. Nice. I was actually pulling this up on Beckton. It actually says starting at left tackle in a new offense in 2019, Beckton had switched sides left tackle to right tackle mid-game during the previous 2 seasons.
So he's got experience there.
Right tackle. Yep.
So it's a thought. Let's see what they do.
What's your dog eating? Is that the dog bowl we're here?
No, that's my son. The other dog.
Thanks for calling it, man. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too, man.
You good, man.
All right.
We got to get Afram's son to call in one day.
Yeah, we had a dog or something. We got to get something. We had no pets and no guitar players the last couple weeks, man.
Disappointing.
Some bullshit. All right. So now this guy, we haven't talked to this guy in a while. Maybe I haven't. What's up, Rutgers?
Hey, how you doing?
Where you
been? Tired.
You've been tired? That's where you've been? You've been tired?
School's good. Semester ended, been working a lot. So, between 2 semesters, trying to make some money. So, been busy. Got a free night tonight. So,
there you go.
Decided to call in.
Do it. Awesome.
How have you guys been doing?
Good, man.
Hanging in.
Calm, quiet, collected. normal show here.
Exactly.
Yeah, very calm. Clearly very calm.
I think
look at the smile on his face. He's gonna break out some shit right now. Here it comes, prime time. He had that little smirk on his face. You know it's coming. Let's go.
When it comes to Barrios, I mean, you saw me in the chat. I want to resign him. I don't want to overpay. Like,
okay.
I feel like there's a balance between in the past where we'd have GMs who do stupid shit, like not re-sign players who are good. But you can't become the GM who overplays players just because they're productive. I think you also have to just keep some semblance of like remembering in your mind where Braxton Barrios would actually fit in our ideal offense. Like if things go great for us, we either draft a receiver or we sign a receiver in free agency, whether, somehow the Packers, don't tag Adams or, you go after one of the injured guys, it's so weird because the receiving class is so stacked, but like almost everyone's injured. With Juju's injured, you got Godwin's injured, Allen Robinson's been banged up and been playing with bad quarterback play, and the Bears has been awful. So it's like a lot of talent, but a lot of question marks. Gallup, all these guys. But like an ideal offense with Barrios, he's not your third option. Like if you tell me next year we're going into it and our best 3 receivers is Davis, Moore, and Barrios, I'm not going to be sitting there like this is awful, but I'm also going to be sitting there like, how did we not take a chance to improve this group? Yeah. Whether you look at...
You don't think he could be a nice like security blanket coming out of the slot, seeing as how like they played Elijah Moore a lot on the outside this year?
I think at times, but I don't want to be my starting slot receiver.
I'm just thinking if like an opposing defense is focused on both Davis and Moore on the outsides, and maybe even you add like a legitimate tight end as well. Barrios might be the one guy that's kind of getting not really getting like a lot of attention.
Yeah, I can see him doing that, but I would also go to the fact that as it is right now, we don't have a number 1 wide receiver. So if you can add that, and then you have the flexibility of moving, interchanging whatever guy that is and more in the slot and the outside, and it causes matchup nightmares to teams. Like watching the Packers move Adams into the slot is just so crazy to watch, because it's like you have a guy who typically and typically if you have, especially even corners who mirror him, it makes matchup nightmares, because typically your nickel corners in there, you can't put the nickel on him because you don't want the nickel corner on Javonte Adams, and then it creates changes to how defense has to react to everything. So I think in my ideal world, I think what Barrios is making, what, $850,000 this year, you could bring him back for around $4 million, and I think max when Matt Afram said 5, because returners don't make that much money. Like Andre Roberts, man.
Yep.
He left us and he got a $1 million contract with it was like $2 million and then $1 million signing bonus or something like that.
But he was also over 30, and he's pretty much only.
Yeah, I get it, but no one's really gonna. You look at the market and you look at history for contracts for returners, even Pro Bowlers. You're not gonna get a huge contract. And Barrios, even though he brings a lot in terms of his work ethic, I think his heart it's so immeasurable to me, because he got cut by the Pats. We picked him up and he worked hard, and every opportunity he's had, he's made the most of it. And that's something I truly respect from him. And he's always working hard. Even the practices I go to, he's like, if there's one person you'll never see slacking off a drill, never see half-assing things, is Braxton Barrios. And but that doesn't make him more than he is talent-wise. Like sometimes players, there's a certain level where you won't, it's not going to happen. And unless Zach takes a big step forward or Elijah Moore takes a big step forward, I can't see him being the actual third option in our offense if we want to go where we want to go.
So what's your max paying him? Your max offered him be $4 million a year?
I could go to 5 because I want to keep him here. And I can see the versatility with being able to bring him in, and you have 2 different receivers who you can run on trick plays and stuff like that. You have multiple different things you can do with him. He's a good returner. He's good on kicks and punts. So I can see the value. And if, say, Elijah Moore gets banged up, he's not a bad guy you have to step in and replace that.
No, you make a good point. I think the 11 million was crazy, but I think where Barrios is right now, he's coming off a great game, whereas all the excitement is. I think he's the player right now that as Jet fans were completely overvaluing. Where I think other fans across the league are like, you want to pay this guy $9 million a year? He's got 46 catches for 400 yards and a couple touchdowns. Like it's like the numbers he's putting up doesn't match the salary everybody wants to give him. But as fans, we're like, we want to keep him,
I think the 3 for 21 that you brought up before, I think that would almost be like a perfect number where you could structure it. Like the first year is only 5 or 6 million. The second year is 7 or 8 million. Third year is not guaranteed. And if he reaches that ceiling that you think he can reach, where he's, a 70, 80 catch guy out of the slot, then you can bring him back for that third year of the contract, something like that.
Because like the thing is, like you mentioned the guy, like I'm a big Allen Robinson fan, man. I've loved Allen Robinson for years, but of course he's banged up and playing with shitty quarterbacks. And this year his numbers are awful. They've been terrible. He's been banged up and the quarterback's been bad. So he's not going to get franchise tags. He's going to be a free agent. And I'm curious to see what he gets, because he is just a huge target, great athlete, great pass. Like he would just be phenomenal, man.
Yeah. I would love Allen Robinson, especially in this offense. I was big on him last year, bringing him in, but he got tagged. I've caught a few Bears games. It's been so weird because sometimes it's hard, because I think in the past with Trubisky and stuff, you could still see where it's like, he's just playing with a bad quarterback and that's holding him back. But with the way things are at the Bears right now, it's sometimes even hard to see, because the plays break down so fast. You're watching it, you're confused at what the offense is trying to do. You don't really understand what you're watching, and it's like it's kind of hard to I guess break everything down to make sense of it.
Yeah, Allen Robinson, he doesn't have all the miles on his tires like other guys do. But I just like him. I like him as a player. But the one player I'm real curious to hear your take is Quinnen Williams, because now it's like some people are calling him a Pro Bowl level player. I don't know. Like he seems to vanish sometimes. But how do you what are your thoughts on him as, would you consider him trading him in the offseason? Is he worth a new contract? Like, what do you think about him?
I think me personally, I'm still a believer in Quinn. I think one of the problems with our team is the fact that the line over his career hasn't given him that much help. He gets double teamed a lot. He gets double. Sorry, the chat. Yeah, I saw that.
They've been pretty good so far. They've been letting you talk, and they haven't been that bad yet.
Yeah. I think he he's been pretty good. He gets double teamed a lot. He sometimes disappears, and that's one thing I wanted to bring up. I was actually going to bring up talking about the defense, but it's like part of you wants to see him become like that amazing player.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think to myself, it's like people show you all these stats and they tell you these next gen stuff, and it's putting them on lists next to Darnold and stuff like that. And it's just to myself, it's like he's most likely never going to be Aaron Donald. Like Aaron Donald is one of the greatest players of all time. So to expect that kind of thing from it's unrealistic. And I think he's a guy who can and has in the past been useful in run and pass rush. Like a lot of DTs we've had run stoppers. We haven't had pass rushing from there.
Yep.
And I think he's someone must keep watching, looking at what happened in San Francisco, where back when Saleh was there as DC, and they kept bolstering that line, and they kept adding guys, and they were paying a lot of guys. Everyone's sitting there like, what is happening with this line? It's just a bunch of first round picks. It's a bunch of guys being paid. And then that line basically carried them towards a Super Bowl run. I think he's going to realize how important it is to keep it. I don't think we're at a stage where we can't really afford to let talent, especially talent like Quinnen Williams, walk. If Quinnen Williams stays and he's bad, that's something we have to live with. But to me, I can't personally watch him walk and then go somewhere on a nice line and then do stuff and then just be like, why didn't we keep him? Because I don't want to go on a tangent here, but like going to talk about defense, one of the things I'm on the bring Ulbrich back side. Like I'm not ready to quit on it.
Right.
Like I'm tired of hearing questions about the scheme, but part of me when watching us play, it's like there's only so much as a coach that you can do sometimes when your players just do things poorly. Like obviously you want your coaches to be able to lift the ability of your players, but you can't do that with every player. And there are times watching our defense where a lot of their repeat mistakes, it's not even coaching, it's just bad play. Where in terms of missing angles on tackles, sometimes and the fact that
giving receivers like a 15-yard cushion, that's not coaching.
No, I agree with that, but I think that's the fact that we're doing that is a result of the talent that we have right now. Because
I don't understand. You just told me about how you like Quinnen Williams, correct?
Yes.
So do you like Rankins? Is he a quality player?
He's supposed to be.
No, is he a quality player?
Sure.
Is John Franklin Myers a solid player?
I think so, yes.
Is Fadakasi a solid player?
I think so, yes.
Is CJ Mosley a solid player?
Well, yes, but that's part of my point, Tyson.
What's your point? You're saying that some of the guys aren't. So if they have talent, they have defensive front talent.
Yes.
So you're saying that they have talent, but they're not playing well. So is that the player or the coaching?
It's got to be a mix of both. But I don't see how as a coach, because the problem with this, right, is when you have a lack of talent in your secondary, you need that to be overcome by talent at the front line. And when you have a lack of talent in your front line, you need that to be overcome by talent in secondary who give them more time to get to the quarterback. And right now we're either at a place where we have a lack of talent in both, or we have the line not playing up to the level it should be.
The run defense is gross, dude.
And that's what I'm saying. Where was the run defense ranked last year? Weren't they like top 10 or 15, like something like that? They weren't like they weren't getting run all over like they are this year.
It was always weird
guys back.
Because even when we were bad, our run defense has always been not that bad. Like I remember one year we were sitting there awful, and our run defense was in the top 10.
Yep.
And right now, I was going to bring that up. It's like I seen people on Twitter talking about Mosley, and it's like, oh, Mosley makes tackles 5-6 yards downfield. And I was like, he is saving big plays all the time. Like, when's the last time we saw the other team hand the ball off and one of our defensive linemen stopped it in the backfield?
It's not very. I think Fadakasi did it on Sunday. We don't see it very often, though.
Outside of that play, I can't remember it happening often. It's actually perplexing to me watching the defensive line, because even when
you're saying that to tell me how good Quinnen Williams is.
I mean, yes, and that's the problem. I mean, but Quinnen's getting double teamed though. Like, it's not like Quinnen's
you're breaking Leonard Williams excuses right now. Just saying.
I get it all the time with Leonard. Okay, but at the beginning of the season, I mean, hopefully Carl Lawson is going to solve.
I missed you, man.
Solve these, but like at the beginning of the season, we did see some times where the scheme, or at least coaching plan.
Is this where the violin comes in right now? We should play the violin. Isn't this when we do this?
Like, for example, Quinnen's
sack. Soundboard.
Quinnen sacked was the game against Tennessee when Quinnen and Quincy both had sacks, right?
Sure.
Was Tennessee? It might have been. Yeah.
I think so.
It was one of the wins. The play where Quinnen gets his sack, it's not even like It was like we ran a stunt where Franklin Myers took his man and pushed into Quinn's man, and then Quinnen wrapped around him and came in. And it was like at times you see plays like that with Franklin Myers and Quinnen, especially where they have.
Okay, so they've played 16 games, right? And I know Quinnen missed a couple because of COVID and everything else. But of the 16 games, you're going to probably give me 3 plays that you remember from Quinnen this entire season.
That's the problem. That's why I wouldn't extend him this year.
That's the whole thing with Quinn. Like, I like Quinnen, dude. I want nothing more to see him just break out and explode, have this fierce defense. But it's just like you watch other guys across the league that get paid the big money, and you see these explosive, like dominating plays. Like, and I keep thinking, like, the Aaron Donald thing is ridiculous. He's nowhere in the same league as him. I don't care what anybody tells me, but it's like, what league is he in? It's just you don't like. We went through it with Leonard Williams. I always think it's because he was drafted so high. The expectations go astronomically higher. And if he was like the 20th pick in the draft, we'd be having the same conversation? Probably not. You'd be like, well, he's a first round pick, but you got good value for him. I think it's just because where he was drafted at. I don't know. I could be wrong. He's a tough player. I just don't like. I hear what everybody says about him, but then you watch the games over and over, and you just don't see like that 3 or 4 couple plays a game that just like, oh shit,
I think the problem is that if you try to pay him now, you're still paying on potential, which is why, you pick up the 5th-year option. You got 2 years to evaluate him. If he reaches that ceiling, great. You can give him that contract. Otherwise, if he's asking for that Aaron Donald type money, I don't know if you can give him that.
Fletcher Cox, a hell of a player, man. Give him that comparison. That's a
be happy.
But a lot of those guys, if you watch other teams week in and week out, like the more competitive teams with the dominant defenses, you're seeing those guys make impact plays, playing, several times a game. So like you said, like Javi, it could be like he needs somebody next to him. Okay, well then if you need somebody next to you, then you should get paid like an elite player then because you're not elite. You need help.
I agree with that. As of right now, this is his 3rd year, right?
Yep.
There's talk about picking up his 5th-year option. I wouldn't, me personally, I don't know if I would do that because I don't think he's earned it yet.
So then so you're gonna let him walk?
No, you don't have. What, he's gonna be restricted? Is he not?
Yeah, he's still on contract.
Well, for this year, yeah, but then
next year he'll be restricted. Will he not? It's his first free agency. He's the first.
If you don't pick up his option, I think he's free to walk.
Really?
99% sure about that. 99% sure about that.
I think you're 1 year away from that.
Tyson, Sam Darnold just finished his 3rd year. The Panthers had to pick up his option. Remember all the debates we had last year about whether or not we're going to pick up Sam Darnold's option?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm looking at it right now. I forget. I'm old, man. I forget.
You don't need to look. You don't need to look at it. I told you.
So I don't.
Oh, yeah, 5th-year option available.
Is it likely that he would actually walk though? If he plays well next year and we come to him with an extension, I don't think it's likely that he walks.
If you turn down his 5th-year option and then you don't give him a contract, I think there's a good chance he probably walks.
It's a hard decision because I guess I could see picking it up, but it's not like it's necessary. There's precedent of big D linemen and ends not getting their 5th-year option picked up and then just getting re-signed the 4th year.
Yeah. If they're still unsure of what his ceiling is and they just want to give him 2 years to figure that out instead of just the 1 year, then maybe you pick it up. But
I think playing with a line with Lawson, being able to have Franklin Myers inside, whether we add someone in the draft or free agency this offseason, whatever we do, playing with that should give you a clear view on what Quinn Williams actually is as a player. Because if Lawson is who we hope he is, even half of what he seemed to be in training camp, that would make things so much easier for him to be able to get pressure, to be able to make things happen. And if he can't do that, then he just isn't who we thought he was.
So if the 5th-year option, if they pick it up, it will cost them probably about $11 million for 2023.
That's it?
It's not terrible.
Wait, why is it only that much for him? Unless because Sam was a quarterback and he got 18?
Yeah, the contracts are based on the position.
Okay.
And then I don't think he's actually
11 million is not bad at all.
You can pick
that's a no-brainer to pick up.
According to this article here, they said the Jets have 3 options. They can sign him to a long-term deal, exercise the 5th-year option to push his extension to 2024, or ride out his rookie deal until it expires at the next year. And they're saying right now the range for him, they're thinking is 4 years, $72 million if you want to give him an extension. Does that $18 million a year? I pick up the option and wait. Fuck that.
Give him much. I don't know.
Let him play another year and see what happens.
$11 million? Hell yeah.
But even then, at worst situation, if if he were to hit free agency, we could easily tag him. It's not like we don't use their tags for anybody fucking else. We have nobody on this team worth tagging.
Yep.
So if he plays well, you could do that.
$11 million is nothing. Fuck, they gave Sheldon Rankins what?
I didn't know what the money was. That's on me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the money was. But on the line, when you guys talked about earlier today, we talked about looking at 4-man rush, and that's why one part of me, it's like it's got to be some way on the players, because you look at other teams, even average squads. The Jaguars without Josh Allen, 4-man rush and got pressure on us. We can't 4-man rush against beat up offensive lines.
Tired,
we can't do anything.
Tired offensive line. They were tired.
First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, 4-man rush gets nothing.
Bro, that's my argument to everybody that wants to pay everybody. It's like, okay, we want to keep guys, you want to pay guys, it's great. But game on the line, not 1 ounce of pressure. Nobody did anything. It's like, so then it's like, is it the talent's there, but they're not being coached up, or they're being coached up? It's like, there's got to be some kind of problem. There's something. It's either talent isn't there or it's there. It's like somebody has to take blame for this somewhere. And
sorry,
go ahead.
It's got to be a mix somewhere, because you look at it, there's some plays where you see it and you're like, that's on coaching. Why are we playing soft? But then there's other plays where it's like, sometimes you just see players make some little lapses. Like, for example, Eccles, great game. Was it the 3rd and 20? Was it? That was on him. Like, if you watch the play, he's playing man. He's running with this guy, but then he looks into the backfield and he looks and he loses like his eye on his man. So even though he's watching Brady, he misses the fact that his guy cut off toward the boundary. So if he, instead of watching Brady, is watching his man, he's gonna be with that. He's gonna break that play up.
Yep. So
it's a mix of the youth, the lack of talent at times, and then coaching.
Yeah, see, for me, like I give the secondary a pass for a lot of things because they're all young players, man. You have Eccles, Bryce Hall, Michael Carter. I Javelin Guidry. I get it. I completely fine with that. To me, my problem has been the whole time is the guys that we're complaining about the most are the defensive front that aren't veterans. These are all high-paid quality guys. So that's what makes shit crazy for me. It's like I don't – and the reason why is you watch games like last night with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're swarming defense. In the Miami Dolphins, they're attack defense. Like I want defense like that. The Packers, they're coming – it's relentless. And they'll take out their first-string, second-string guy comes in, and they're all getting pressure. Like that's what I want. Like the 49ers had that. They took out – but it wasn't always the first-rounders doing it. It's just – to me, that's scheme. If you can replace players and still get a good pass rush, that's your scheme. That's
but we're starting with the replacement players at this current moment. Like
they're pretty high priced. Then
a lot of the guys we brought. Right? I'm talking about more than just the line. I'm talking
the line. Fuck that. That's what we're talking about.
The line is shocking to me right now. But I do know that according to whatever stats it is, Quinnen and I know Franklin Myers at times, especially when Quinnen's not out there, they're both getting double teamed. And I'm not giving them passes because I expect more from, especially John.
This is like Leonard Williams all over again. This is gonna
you got that contract.
This is gonna be a long ass offseason.
It's gonna be very interesting.
So the question we have for you is, we had to do one more question because we're both getting tired. The Gator Bowl, did you watch it?
Wait, which one was that?
It's a simple question. Did you watch the Gator Bowl?
I don't remember the names. I watched a lot of bowl games. I'm sorry. Which
did you watch Rutgers bowl game?
Yes, I did.
And your thoughts on that?
I wish I literally I was sitting there like, man, at least I don't gotta watch Rutgers. And then that team got COVID, Wake Forest. We picked up the game. I was like, at least to get the young people some experience. Mm-hmm. I remember I was sitting there. I was working. I was doing some reading for one of my classes, one of the books that we had read, and I don't want to continue reading it because it was a really interesting book. And then I looked up and I was like, let's put this game on. And about a quarter and a half in, I remembered exactly why I didn't go to Rutgers football games, because I literally sat there and I was like, I watch the Jets every week, and God, I'd rather watch us get 50 balled by the Patriots than watch the incompetence that happened in some of the Rutgers games.
They were
like
bad.
Stick with Rutgers basketball.
The best player on our team by far was a punter. Like, you thought Braden Mann being the best in the Jets last year was crazy. You know how much they were raving about the fact that our punter hasn't had a touchback in hundreds of punts, and he's been pinned him under the 20 all the time. Like, literally, it gets the third down, and the announcers are pretty much saying, like, I hope they get stopped so this punter can come back out. It's crazy, man.
That's funny as shit.
Joe Douglas's 5th round pick coming up.
Javed, good talking to you, man. I'm glad you're doing well.
All right, it's nice to hear from you
Good night.
guys.
Be good, man.
Good night,
Nice
man.
guys. I'll see you again.
You too. Oops, I hit the wrong button here. I almost kicked you off, prime time. I hit the wrong button. Shit. What the hell am I doing here? They know I'm tired. So prime time, we always save the best for last. And I noticed something different this week. So I figure the mood is going to change because his team won. So now he's back on the fucking Russell Wilson is God and Pete Carroll's a genius and all this other stuff. But the title of his name has changed. So we used to introduce him as Crenshaw. He's got some rap skills. You know, he's a bit, and now all of a sudden the title has changed. So he made intro music now.
Fantasy football champ.
Fantasy football champ is here.
The champ is here.
Well done, Jose. Nice job.
Shut up.
Too bad it wasn't a money league.
I wish it was.
Be rolling.
Wait, you didn't win no money?
Next year.
Well, the league, you know, Jose, I'm gonna tell you, the league that you're in, they should buy you something as an award. They should definitely do that. They shouldn't just let you win and get nothing. Cheap asses.
I would have paid something. I'll buy you something. Cassandra won't buy you. I'll buy you something.
You should get something. That's my recommendation. Winning a league is not easy, Primetime. You put a lot of hard work into that, so he should get a prize.
Not that Primetime would know about putting time in.
Now he's taking shots at you.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
I missed that. You would know.
Well, maybe if I had some cash incentive to update my lineup a little more.
Okay, Tyro.
Oh shit!
Damn, that was
but see, the thing is, this is what makes Jose's championship even more impressive. Is that he wasn't even playing for anything. It's his competitive spirit and his fire that got him anyway. He has a winning attitude, Prime. You can learn from him.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be overconfident.
Unlike Russell Wilson.
Yep.
But anyway, moving on. What the hell was that? 4th and 2 QB.
Oh, now you're talking shit about our team? Listen, man.
Well, it's his team too.
No, I talk shit about Russell Wilson. I'm gonna talk shit about that play call.
Well, did you hear all the explanations?
Yes. But if anything, I'm running that play out of a shotgun formation and making it a triple option where he can pitch it to Barrios. Hand it off.
A triple option? Jesus Christ. We can't handle one option.
That sounds too complicated.
It's just what I would have done.
So, Jose, we got more important things. Did you see the Jets are playing the Seahawks in Seattle next year?
I will meet you there.
Meet you there. We got like do dinner the night before or something.
Yes.
I know you're a celebrity and all. I know you want the book on your calendar and shit.
I get that.
If you can find time for us.
I know.
Oh, please.
He'll be busy running his fantasy football league.
Next season, I am charging. From time, I'm telling you now, I'm charging.
Good. Then I guarantee you my lineup will be updated every single week.
Yeah. Elias will not be brought back.
But see, but Jose, what I'm wondering is, will you be excited to watch the Jets take on Geno Smith and the Seahawks next year?
If that happens, I will walk in wearing green.
That's what I want to hear. That's because you realize Russell Wilson's gone, man. I know you realize it now too. It's just a matter of time.
Yes,
Countdown is on.
Yes, I realize. I didn't even know he's.
But I told you this 2 months ago.
Okay, you're right.
Well, you wouldn't listen.
I was trying to save you the pain and heartache, man, because I care about you. I don't want to see you upset. And you're gonna go through the pain now.
At least I'm not gonna be like prime time after Sam left.
I was good. I got over that quick.
Your ass. You fucking like a 3-week moratorium. Fucking
Well,
quick your ass.
The video tribute I did that kind of helped me,
the longest month of my fucking life. Holy shit.
Those streams
those are brutal, man.
I lost a liver because of you.
You, Jose, you imagine me. I had to deal with this clown 3 days a week. Shit.
So did I. I was calling in on those shows.
You have the option not to. Tyson's got to deal with me.
I know, no
I
choice.
was calling in.
So Jose, the question is, if we come out for Jets Seahawks,
Yeah.
you gotta wear Let's Talk Jets
I'm
radio shirts for the game. Oh, we got him. We gotta go prime time.
Hell yeah. That and Lambo we gotta do.
What? Come on, you guys know I represent you. I shout you guys out on that every video.
You do. How many subscribers you have now? Your channel's doing good, man.
You better be at 300 now.
Not yet. Almost.
Come on, man.
It's been like a month. Come on.
I know. Right
We'll
now,
work on that. We'll promote you more. We'll get you back up there.
right now, my internet is down. I'm using a hotspot.
Hey, just like prime time.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not prime time. Like Tyrone. I meant to say Tyrone, not prime time. You're like Tyrone. Tyrone's always in a hot spot.
Yeah, I'm getting construction done on my house, and the guy that's doing the work cut the wire to the internet.
Oh, perfect.
So now
what's your channel's name again, Jose?
Seahawks Jose Rodriguez.
Seahawks Jose Rodriguez.
It's gonna be just the process, Jose Rodriguez.
Oh, you're gonna steal our shit then? We have to trademark that part.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Like 5 years.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yep. That's fine.
I'm
We'll
joking.
You saw what happened when Panda crossed us.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I am joking.
What'd you think about Eminem's new song?
I thought it was nailed in, to be honest.
What?
I like guns blazing.
I still haven't listened to it. I can't find it. Where was it?
Well, just because you're not in tune with pop culture, prime time. We try to help you each week to give you just insight into the music world, and we can't help you.
It wasn't on YouTube, so
it's called The Gospel.
Yep, I thought it was good. But now, Jose, see now here is a band I want you to check out.
Yes.
The band is called Eskimo Callboy. Eskimo Call
Yes.
Boy. Seriously, they're a legitimate band. They're a band from Germany, and the song you want to check out is called Hyper Hyper. Check it out and let me know what you think.
Okay.
It's gonna blow your mind.
Now, can we talk Jets?
Oh, what do we want to talk Jets for? I'm looking. Go ahead, man.
All right, I am paying Barrios.
We just got you 2 subscribers. Look at this. Another subscriber. Look at this.
Boom.
I am now at
We should get commission for that.
I am. You will. Set up a cash app. I'll send you money. What the hell?
We don't want no money.
That's what you.
I'm not kidding, right? Anyway.
We'll make you broke when we go to Seattle. I sure we both drink way too much.
Oh.
You better save your money now, dude. We drink a lot, man.
Oh, trust me. The Airbnb will be full of alcohol.
We cause all kinds of problems, man. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
My credit card statement after Carolina is not good to look at.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Another subscriber.
It's 3.
Thank you, guys. I am now at 300.
There you go.
Thank you, guys. But let's talk Jets for a second.
I'm just gonna unsubscribe. Put it back to $2.99.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
Fuck with it.
Me too. Fuck this shit. I'm out.
I am paying various $5 million. It's with inexpensive to get to 6 if he hits the expensive. Hey, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, 5. You want a 5 with incentives to get 6. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then with one of the other first round with one of the first round picks, either with the second first round pick, I'm trading down and getting more picks.
You're trading our pick down?
I agree with that. I would trade one of them down. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
One. I said one. I didn't say both.
I will save my argument with you till the draft, our draft shows, because I will be arguing with you.
Okay.
Just so
I can't
prepare.
wait.
Because
I cannot
Jose,
wait.
I'm the most dangerous person you could argue during the draft. 'Cause I don't know shit. So I just cause chaos. I don't study players. I don't look at tape. I just argue. So I'll be havoc for you.
One player I need the Jets to draft is the center from Iowa.
Yes, Lindenbaum.
Jose, you're at 301 right now.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I
look at that. The power of the channel.
Truly
right
appreciate.
That's awesome.
I truly appreciate it. I love you guys. I am very grateful.
I heard you're doing a special giveaway for like the 300 subscriber.
What do you?
Wait. Jose, you tell them the only giveaway is they should be giving you something for winning your championship. That's all they got to worry about right now.
That's what I was about to
Another
say.
one. Look at this. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
You're going to be passing us soon. This is some bullshit now. We got to stop promoting it. Nothing this shit.
But yes, the center from Iowa is a must-have draft pick.
So wait, hold on. So are you taking him at pick 4 or 5, wherever they are with that first pick?
No. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
A center at pick 4 or 5? Has that ever happened?
Here's my reaction.
I don't know.
Here's my reaction to that take. That's my instant reaction to that. What? You're at 303, Jose.
Thank you, guys.
But after that last take, you're probably gonna be at 250.
Hey, you got the Jets really need a center to solidify.
Dude, holy shit.
No, I agree. I just think the Seattle pick is probably gonna make more sense. That could be a nice gift from you guys to us.
Is the center still gonna be there?
I pick like 9 or 10. I would think so.
Listen, we had to end the show. We had to end the show prime time. He's gonna be at 400 soon.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Jose, good talking to you, man.
Great job, Jose.
Chad, appreciate you guys.
Congratulations on your championship, man.
Love you guys.
If they don't get you something, I'll get you something.
Love you guys. Happy New Year.
You too, man. Have
a great New Year, man.
Happy New Year. Love you guys.
Love you too, man. What a show, prime time. This was excellent callers all night.
Great calls.
We only had one bad one or one questionable one. The rest were all good.
And an Altoon reference.
Oh, that was a bad one too. So we're at what? So we have one more preview show and we're done. The season's good. We get one more. Yeah. The preview show on Friday, the stream on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, and when vacation.
Finally made it. There's no vacation here.
I know that's true too. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for helping Jose's channel out too. He does a really good job with that, man. He puts a lot of content out. He does more than we do. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for helping him, helping us, and we'll talk to you on Friday.
Have a good night.